Welcome to What in the Duck podcast. I'm your host, Oliver Peck. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Dream Machines of Texas, www.dreammachinesoftexas.com. All your used motorcycle wants and needs all in one place at www.dreammachinesoftexas.com. They have multiple locations with large inventory and get new bikes in every week. Knowledgeable staff with great service and financing and extended warranty options available. They also have a complete service garage, so every bike is gone through and brought up to speed before you hit the road. I have bought more than a few bikes from Dream Machines over the years, and I could not be more satisfied. I've also had friends from all over the country buy bikes from Dream Machines because they couldn't find a better deal anywhere. You can buy a bike and have it shipped to you anywhere in the U.S. Why buy a brand new bike with that brand new high price when you can get a like-new bike with that dream deal you've been looking for? Go to www.dreammachinesoftexas.com and get a bike and get your ass on the road. Hello and welcome to What in the Duck podcast. I'm your host, Oliver Peck, and today we have a very interesting guest. His name is Danger Dan, good buddy of mine, somebody who I've actually been on their podcast a few times. He has a podcast called Danger Dan's Talk Shop. He really prodded me along and encouraged me to start this podcast and helped me out in the very early stages. And then when I kind of slacked off and didn't get it going, he prodded me some more to like, hey man, make it happen, get it going. And I really appreciate him for showing me a couple things and helping me get into this because it's so far been a lot of fun. And I'm happy to have Danger Dan on the show today. We're going to talk about probably motorcycles because that's what Danger Dan mostly does is fuck around with motorcycles and do dangerous shit, hence the name Danger Dan. So get ready for that. It's going to be a great interview. I have a feeling. As always, I'm going to start off and answer a few questions from the Gmail. Always, any questions you have that you'd like me to answer, you can email me any questions whatsoever to whatintheduckpodcast@gmail.com. And if I answer your question on the show, we will send you some goodies, some merch, some stuff from What in the Duck podcast gear. Stickers, shirts, who knows? You're going to get the good stuff. Email me your questions. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. We appreciate it. And anybody that subscribes to the podcast is automatically entered in our subscriber drawing. I just did the tattoo for our first subscriber winner a couple of weeks ago. More cool stuff to be given away to all our subscribers. So click that button and be a part of the What in the Duck team. So first question we got here today from Brooks. Brooks says, hey, Oliver, love the podcast. Brooks here, Harley rider, traditional tattoo collector myself. Loves talking about tattoos and tattoo stories. He has a question. Says, are there hard feelings if longtime customers choose to go and get tattooed by other artists? Thanks, man. Hope to get to Dallas and get tatted by you soon. Thanks, Brooks. I would, this is something I talk about quite a bit in the tattoo shop. And to my tattoo customers, I encourage my clients and clients of Elm Street to travel and go get tattoos from other people. And I have a pretty standard practice with my long-term customers that whenever they're anywhere else in the world, they will hit me up and say, hey man, I'm in Philadelphia. Who should I get tattooed by? Or, hey, I'm going to Italy. Where should I go? Or, hey, I'm in Ireland, and I always recommend them the place to go get tattooed wherever they may be. Cause I really encourage, getting tattooed by a lot of different artists in a lot of different areas. Cause I think that's a part of the tattoo journey. And I think that the way I got tattooed myself was traveling the country, getting tattooed, getting a bodysuit from all the artists that I really liked. And I was seeking out places to go and people to get tattooed by. And that's what's cool about what I call the tattoo journey is, it's you have this mass amount of artwork from all these people from all over the world or all over the country or all over the city or all over the state or whatever it is. I think that is what makes it so special and what makes it so cool. I have a lot of tattoo customers that come to me for many, many years, and they only get tattooed by me or they only get tattooed by one person for so long. And they're kind of reluctant when you say, hey, you should go get a tattoo from so-and-so if you're going to be somewhere. They're like, oh, I want to get tattooed by you. I was like, yeah, but you can't just. At some point, I've done as much as I can do for you, really. You know what I mean? You don't want to, it is cool if you have like a whole bodysuit by one person, if it's one theme, if it's a Japanese bodysuit or something, that kind of makes sense. But in traditional tattooing, you want to collect, there's a lot of great people out there to do a lot of cool stuff. So I think it's weird to me when somebody only gets tattooed by one person. So I highly recommend exploring that in your tattoo journey. And as far as hard feelings, if somebody shows up to, and I have a bunch of tattoos and they have a new tattoo from somebody else, not at all. No hard feelings at all. I love to see what else they added to their collection. Because that's what it is. It's a collection of art and stories and life experiences. And it, you can look at somebody's whole body of tattoos like mine, and kind of, it's like a scrapbook, a photo album of memories and friends and trips. And I mean, it's really the reason I got all these tattoos is because I just love the experience and the time shared with all the artists and all the cool designs. And sometimes you want a particular tattoo and you say, I want this, and you find who's going to do that tattoo and you get that particularly by that person because that's what they do. Or sometimes you want a tattoo from a person more specifically than what you actually want. So you show up with loose ideas or no ideas, and you talk to them, and it kind of becomes the tattoo that you get. And sometimes those are my favorite ones, is you go in not expecting, maybe you're going to get, maybe you know what you're going to get, maybe you don't, but you're open to interpretation. A lot of people that are new to tattooing don't really understand the concept when people come in and don't have an idea. They think that's kind of crazy, but obviously most people that are getting their first tattoo don't go like that. But I have a lot of customers that come in and they're like, what do you want to do today? If somebody has a lot of tattoos and they kind of are open, I instantly just like look at what they have. I'm like, let's see what you got. Let's see what you don't have. You don't have, and if they don't have a skull and snake, then they're going to get a skull and snake. Because if you say do whatever, then I'm going to do a skull and snake. Sometimes they already have a skull and snake and you're like, fuck it, get another skull and snake. Can't go wrong. Thanks for your question, Brooks. Next up, we got Bill Meyer. Hey, this is Bill Meyer from Connecticut. Want to know if you agree with my theory on this new wave of good country music, not that pop shit, in parentheses. Being the new punk, my theory is all the emo and punk kids from the early 2000s have grown up and slowed down and started writing country and folk tunes. What say you? And he says, look at acts like Sierra Farrell, Lost Dog, Street Band, The Devil Makes Three, Nick Shoulders. They're all kids that were into punk and emo and alternative music, and they ended up in a very similar genre. Always love the show. Keep kicking ass and hope to hear back. All right, Bill. I've talked about this before, and one of my favorite bands is Lucero. And I'm wearing a pocket tee. I'm wearing the pocket tee from Lucero right now. We saw them in OKC the other night. Two things I love, Lucero and pocket tees. So this is like the greatest shirt in the world right now for me. But I love Lucero, and they are basically old guys that were punk kids, and now they play country-ish music. And they were one of the first couple bands in the genre that I got introduced to. There's a band called Mulehead from Arkansas that was a guy that was in a punk rock band that started a band called Mulehead, and that was in the 90s. And there's a band called Armchair Martian and a band called And then there was a guy named Chad Price, who was a singer of the band All at one point, which was a punk rock band. Well, Chad Price and John Snodgrass from Armchair Martians teamed up and started a band called Drag the River. And it was basically two old punk dudes making country music. And it was really cool. And Lucero, Drag the River, and Mulehead were the first couple bands that I really was introduced to in that genre. Soon after that, the Old Crow Medicine Show made a big hit, and they were kind of rock and roll dudes that went bluegrass. And The Devil Makes Three is one of my favorite. You listed that one. And I think that this is the kind of country music that I like. The new pop country is total garbage to me. And I think country music went south starting with George Strait and Garth Brooks. That's where it all took a turn, and pop country was born and went to total shit. So I blame, personally, Garth Brooks and George Strait for just destroying country music as a whole. And people think they're great. People think they're old school. I guarantee you they are not old school. Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash are the old school. But as far as the new alternative country, punk, whatever you want to call it, even my buddy Mike Carrera from MXPX had a country project. He still is in MXPX and still does punk music, but also does country music. And it's probably become, over the last 10 years of my life or more, probably become my favorite genre of music, because it kind of has the punk rock roots, and it has all the things you like of the punk rock, but settled down and more calm for people in their elderly years like myself. And Lucero was heavily influenced by a band called Jawbreaker, which was really cool this last couple of years. They got to go on a tour and open for Jawbreaker, who is still playing punk rock music, and Lucero opened up with Lucero's brand of whatever they got. And that was probably one of my favorite shows that I've ever been to. But we did get to go to Oklahoma City the other night and see Lucero play for they're starting a new West Coast tour, and we caught them on the way out west, and it was a great show. It's one of the best shows I've seen from them in quite a while, just as far as the set list, particularly the songs they chose. I've literally felt like they were picking out all my favorite songs and playing. So thank you, Ben, for doing that. Also, the Vandaliers opened up. Vandaliers also, I mean, they're not new, but they're newer. They're younger kids, but I mean, they've been around for a few years now. I don't know how long they've been a band, but probably more than 5 years at least. But they are also punk rock kids that are now doing like fast rock country stuff. So check out the Vandaliers. They're on tour right now with Lucero. All right, thanks, Bill. I saw that question. I know I probably talked about the whole punk country crossover before, but I really like that. All right, Audra says, question is from Audra B, not Audra C. Audra B says, hey, Oliver, I've been tattooing for 24 years now. I am in Fort Worth, right down the street in Fort Worth, Texas. And I have noticed a significant change in tattooing, in quotes, no surprise. I'm just wondering how you keep the love of tattooing alive. I am feeling burnout, sadly. What can I do to get my mojo back? I'm so annoyed that I almost want to stop tattooing. Please help me out, Audra in Fort Worth. Well, I will say I've known quite a few tattooers for quite a long time, and I've been in the tattoo industry for a long time, and I've traveled around, and I've known tattooers from all walks of life. And this is not uncommon for someone who's been doing something, let's just say tattooing for now, but for doing anything you do, playing music or any kind of creative art, once you've been doing it 15, 20, 25 years, it can get to be mundane. It can get to be just a job. It can get to be, You know, you can go through creative slumps. You can feel like you're getting burnt out. I've seen tattooers just get burn out at 10, 12, 15 years, and they get to where they don't love tattooing anymore. Luckily for myself, I've never really gotten to that burnout stage. I've always been able to rejuvenate, you know, my love for tattooing by either staying traveling or mainly staying busy, and lucky enough to be in a situation where I'm in control of my own environment at Elm Street Tattoo, and I get to have a lot of inspiration by guest artists coming in, and I get to go travel places and get inspired by people. And I think that might be part of the solution for you. I don't know what your extenuating circumstances are, but definitely when you're feeling unmotivated, you need to seek that motivation out. You need to find the people that are enthusiastic about what they're doing and spend time with them. You need to see what's going on. Maybe, and a lot of people make big changes in their careers, even late in their careers, change different things, try different things. A lot of people get to a point in their career where they've been tattooing for 20 years and they do a certain thing, and now they almost feel like it's too late to do something new, because you're going to be going back and kind of like starting over or whatever. For me, I am definitely in the boat where I do not want to try anything new. I'm to the point now where people trying to get me to try things, I'm like, I don't try new things. My days of trying new things are over. But I do just really love tattooing, and I do make it fun, and I do make choices to not do things that take the fun out of tattooing for me. I don't book up months and months and months in advance. So I have, there was a time in my early career where I was booked up very far in advance, almost a year in advance. And it was a weight that made tattooing less fun for me. It made it less spontaneous, for one. And it made it more demanding, and it just restricted a lot of freedoms. If you want to travel somewhere, I can't go, I'm booked that month or whatever. So now I book 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month in advance. I get my schedule, I put it out, and I just take it as it comes. Some weeks are busier than others, and that's fine. So I guess my advice on getting your mojo back would be change your environment a little bit, seek out things that are interesting to you, and look for inspiration in others. Because a lot of times that's what it takes. A lot of times, having a good shared experience and having the people around you that are going to motivate. When you're around motivated people, it's contagious. And so if you go out and seek out people that are heavily motivated and they got to drive, and their passion for tattooing is strong, and you just sit next to them and you're in that same space, you're tattooing at a shop where everybody's, super ambitious and super excited about what they're doing, it rubs off, and you will catch it. So I guess seek that out. That's my advice. Keep it going. Don't give up, because what else are you going to do, right? I've also said this before. I have the benefit of having jobs before tattooing that I remember very well. And so even the worst day of tattooing is the best day at work. All right, I got one more question for you guys. I've also talked about this before, but makes my blood boil. Good afternoon, Oliver. This is from Ernesto. Ernesto says, good afternoon, Oliver. First, let me just say I'm loving the podcast. Thank you for the great content. Keep it up. Well, thank you, Ernesto. My question is, what are your thoughts on the new trend of going under anesthesia to get large tattoos done in one sitting? First of all, I don't know how much of an actual trend it is because there's not that many people that are paying this $10,000+ premium to go under anesthesia. But I do know that the amount of people doing it is too goddamn many. It's too motherfucking many. If it was one person ever in the history of time, it would be too goddamn many. Because you know who deserves for their tattoo not to hurt? Nobody. Nobody deserves their tattoo not to hurt. People ask me all the time about if it's hurt. And I was like, hey, one surefire, guaranteed way for your tattoo to not hurt, don't fucking get it. No pain, no fucking tattoo. That's the way the fucking world works. Some people will use numbing cream. Some people will play the fucking... Somebody will spray the Vagisil on there, and some people will fucking use the fucking whatever to put on your shit to make your tattoo not hurt as bad. I don't do that. I just tattoo really fast. I get the fucking tattoo done, and it hurts a little bit, and you have a tattoo for the rest of your goddamn life. That's how you do it. A little bit of pain for a lifetime of a fucking work of art. Now, they do call me Painless Peck. So my tattoos... not as painful as some others. Most of the people that get a lot of tattoos from me, they always say that I'm a, pretty easy person to get tattooed by. I do tattoo faster than most. So the amount of time it hurts is definitely less. Hence the name, Painless Peck. That's me. You can schedule an appointment at oliverpecker@gmail.com. And you will not get numbing cream. You will not get Vagisil. You will not get whatever. But there's this shop. There's a whole goddamn shop that's advertising. They got commercials advertising that you can go there. Seduction Inc., I think it's called. Maybe that's what it is. No, maybe it's Sedation Inc. That makes more sense. If it was Seduction Inc., maybe more people would go. Yeah, but maybe it's Sedation Inc. or something. But they advertise, and they're like in some facility with the medical professional that puts you under anesthesia, $10,000 a day, and then plus the artist fees and all this bullshit. And I'm not going to personally call out individual names of people that I know that I'm very ashamed of that are doing this. But you can look at the commercial and see the names listed on the list. I did hear a rumor that there was at least one or more artists that was listed on this commercial list that they were involved, that person denies that they were involved and said, oh, I didn't know, I haven't done it. They just put me on a list. So hopefully that's true for that one person. But these fucking, what can we say these days that's not the correct terminology? I'm trying to get it right. But these fucking pussies that can't handle getting tattooed. I think you can still call, can you still call people pussies these days or not? Well, let's just make sure we're clear. When we say these pussies, we're referring to people that are, I don't know, maybe they're scared, maybe they're weak, maybe they just can't handle. They can't handle the pain. Let's just define for this working conversation right now. Let's define the word pussy as someone who can't handle the pain of a tattoo. And luckily for them, they are millionaires and they can afford to pay $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to get put under anesthesia so they can get 5 tards with dildo machines to scribble on them for 18 hours and then wake up with a whole leg sleeve of fucking Pokemon and Mickey Mouse bullshit. Because that's exactly what happened. I think it's like some football player. How are you going to be in the NFL and not handle pain? You're just so rich. You're too good to hurt. You're just so rich. You're so important. You have so much money that you deserve not to be in pain like everyone else. You think you deserve that tattoo? And then when you do pay all that money to get a tattoo, you get a goddamn Pokemon or some shit? What the fuck is going on with the world? It's crazy. So what was the question? Oh, my thoughts. My thoughts on people going under anesthesia. My thoughts is that it's fucking stupid. All you have to do is just get tattooed. Just a couple hours. Just sit there for a couple hours with mild abrasion of a tiny needle. Barely puncturing your skin for a few hours. You can't handle the tiniest needle. It's basically these are tiny fucking needles. And they are barely abrasing your skin. Like a few layers of skin. Like we're talking about less than 1/16 of an inch. Barely grazing your skin for a few hours, and you can't handle that. To avoid that minor discomfort, you were willing to fucking basically go under medical anesthesia? That is asinine. That is insanity. So back to being the pussy and being a millionaire. Were you a pussy and then you just happened to be a millionaire? Or you were actually a tough motherfucker that worked his ass off and fucking made his way to the top of the sports pyramid and you're in the NFL? You know it hurts to work out and drive. The amount of drive and workout and ethic it takes to make it to that point in a career. Now you've got these, some 10-year, $873 billion contract. You got all this money. Now you're just too good. You just deserve not to hurt because you're fucking too rich and too famous. Well, I'll tell you what you don't deserve. You don't deserve that fucking tattoo. That's what you don't deserve. And you get no respect. You get no respect for being tatted up. I know everybody wants to be tatted up and they want to show off their fucking tats, but you don't get to be respected for having tattoos. You just get to be the crybaby millionaire that went to sleep and woke up with a tattoo. All right, guys. That's my thoughts on that topic. And I don't know if this is the majority of people feel the way I do, but I can't imagine anybody feeling any different. So who knows? Get ready for Danger Dan. It's going to be a great episode. Like, share, post, comment, and subscribe. Email all your questions to, where are we emailing them to? What in the Duck email? What in the Duck podcast @gmail.com. Email all your questions and I will answer them. Thanks, guys. See you soon. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Anchor Screen Printing. Anchor Screen Printing has been printing t-shirts and merch products since 1999. Anchor is the place for quality, small-run items. At Anchor, every print is hand-done by people who care about art. No mass-produced, machine-operated printing done here. You can email Anchor at anchorcustoms@gmail.com to talk about getting something printed for your company, brand, or shop. Anchor Screen Printing also has its own online merch store that sells Elm Street Tattoo, Cheap Thrills, Heart in Hand, Party First Safety Maybe merch, and much more. You can check it all out now at anchorscreenprinting.com. All orders at anchorscreenprinting.com over $35 have quick and free shipping in the continental U.S. So go to anchorscreenprinting.com today and buy some cool shit. Or you can click the link provided in this podcast to shop now. All right, are we rolling? All right, check it out. We are here. Welcome to What in the Duck podcast. I'm your host, Oliver Peck, and today I'm here in the glorious VIP booth at Miotia's Mexican restaurant with my buddy Danger Dan.
Hello.
Danger Dan, I've been a guest on Danger Dan's podcast multiple times, and I'm happy to have Dan come be a guest on my podcast.
Pretty cool. Same setup. Same spot we normally set up.
We've done it here before, but now the roles are reversed. You can still ask questions even
Okay,
though
good.
you're on this side
It's
of the
funny how
fence
you got to
now.
let people know that too, because
Yeah.
they'll just fucking sit quiet.
Yeah, you can still ask questions. You know, a lot of people have found out or learned about me or met me through you. You know, but we do have a shared relations of people out in the
Oh
world.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
there's definitely people that find me through you, and hopefully there's going to be some people that find you through me.
I'm sure.
Dan's got a podcast, Talk Shop with Danger Dan. It's been
Mhm.
going for quite some time. How
Yeah.
many episodes you got? 18,000?
420?
400.
I don't know.
But hundreds of episodes.
Yeah, definitely hundreds.
Hundreds of episodes. It's been going really well, and you go on the go. You
I
take
think
all
we've done one every 100, so we've probably done 3 or 4.
Cool. Well, Dan's got a great approach to podcasting. He takes all his podcast gear, has stripped it down to the most minimal amount of gear you can possibly think of. He has it in a small bag, and he shows up on his motorcycle anywhere in the country and does podcasts with people. And it's
Anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
dude.
anywhere in the world. Super cool. And you know, just knowing Dan and being a part of Dan's podcast a few times was definitely an inspiration for me to get this podcast going. I thank you for that.
Absolutely.
You definitely encouraged
glad
me
you
a
did.
lot, and you definitely, you know, gave me some tips and helped me get it going. And when I started starting it, not started it, but when I started starting it,
Yeah.
like a lot of hiccups came up and a lot of life got busy and it kept getting postponed. And you were like, "What's up with that podcast?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And so finally, literally, right at the end of the year, before New Year's, I was just like, "Look," me and Audra sat down, or like, we either need to make this podcast happen or just give up on it.
Mhm.
And so it was like, you have to make it.
Just got to do it.
And, you know,
Well, and that's like, there's the freedom, because you don't have to put one out every month. So like, it's easy to just push it off, especially when you've got so many irons in the fire like you do. So,
but once that ball is rolling, it's
Yeah,
going. It's
it
going.
is.
And so now we've got it rolling. We're on like episode 20 with you, and we're doing 2 episodes a month. And I mean, hopefully you guys are liking it. But Danger Dan, so that is your given name at birth.
absolutely.
Yeah, birth given name. Nobody knows any other name other than that. How many people ask you what your real name is? Is that a thing?
No.
A lot of people with heavy nicknames get that question.
They
a lot.
only ask me that if they know it.
Yeah.
And they want somebody else to know. They're like,
yeah.
tell them what your last name is.
I mean, a lot of people ask me because people call me Pecker all the time.
Okay.
People ask me what my real name is, and I'm like, well, it's actually Peck. And they're like, oh, you know, they don't think that that's my real name.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's just my real name, which is, it always catches me off guard.
What is it is it Oliver Pecker on the gram?
Yeah.
It is Pecker.
Yeah. Pecker. I've been using, when I was a kid, my uncles and cousins, everybody called everybody Pecker in our family.
Yeah.
And so when I got to school and you get to that age where people start making fun of you and making fun of your names, people started calling me Pecker, and I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's what they call me. That's what everybody calls me. That's what so. And then I would sign shit in school.
Was there any time there was another nickname? Like, did anything ever?
Well, when I first started tattooing,
Was there like a hazing process?
there was a lot of tattooers from the 70s and the 80s that had like cool nicknames like Dragon Mike and Tiger John.
Okay,
and
like
all
a
these
stage
guys.
name?
And they had all these names, and I was like, man, I need a name, you know? So I went by Catfish Peck.
Catfish Peck.
And I made a business card that said Catfish. So I was like,
Did you have the whiskers
yeah,
in? Or
well, I had like, my mustache wouldn't grow. So I had these like shitty little like edge of a mustache coming in, you know what I mean? So it's like, I just thought it was funny. And then it didn't last very long.
No.
I had one business card that said Catfish on it. And it's funny because one time I went to jail, like pretty early in my tattoo career, and somebody in jail was like, at the other cell was like, yo, Catfish.
No way.
And
Did
like,
it stick in there?
He had gotten a tattoo from me,
Yeah.
you know, and he was like, hey, Catfish. And everybody's like, what's up, Catfish? So for the 2 weeks that I was in jail that time, like my name was Catfish for that 2
I got a
weeks.
good nickname when I was in jail once, and it was Lefty. And it was like this fucking crazy guy just out of nowhere. He's like, I'm going to start calling you Lefty. Like, why? He's like,
Why?
because you ain't fucking right.
Because you ain't right.
And that stuck.
That's good. But then the catfish thing went away, and then I got a duck tattooed on my neck pretty young. And then people just started calling me Ducky.
Really?
And then the duck thing just went haywire.
Oh,
I got a bunch of ducks tattooed on me, and
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I can't even see anything in there. I just see a bunch of colors and lines.
I got a ton of ducks tattooed. And I mean, you look around, there's ducks
There's
everywhere.
definitely ducks.
I didn't really start collecting ducks.
What's up with the Jeep duck thing?
The Jeep duck is that the Jeeps drive through water and ducks swim and walk on land and swim in water. So people this made some association with their Jeep and their duck. And then one person put a duck in their Jeep. And then somebody else had a Jeep. And that person said, you know what you need for your Jeep? You need a duck. And then that person gave another person a duck. And now everyone in the goddamn world with a Jeep gives ducks out.
Yeah.
Like they carry around bags of ducks.
Not just the ones in their dash. This isn't like a trading.
They have a stash of ducks. So when they see another Jeep in a parking lot, if you like the other Jeep, you set a duck on their Jeep. So all those ducks that people have on their dashboards are ducks that other Jeep owners have given them. And then they give other people Jeep ducks.
Wow.
So I think it's some sort of marketing ploy for the...
Well, you know, I understood that part of it, but I'd never heard the origin story or like what the relationship was.
Yeah. Well, you know, you can buy there's these Jeep events where you can buy like a bag of like 100 ducks or buy a bag of 1,000 assorted ducks. And that way you can have like all these ducks to give away.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't have a Jeep.
What's your relation to ducks? Just the one duck tattoo?
I got a duck on my neck because I just wanted a tattoo on this other side of my neck. And the first tattoo I got on the one side of my neck was a bird, and everybody had like the swallow on their neck. And I said, when I get my other side of my neck tattooed, I'm going to get something more unique that's not everybody's going to have. And so I got this duck.
The opposite of majestic.
And then everybody started calling me Ducky. And then I just started getting a bunch of duck tattoos. And then people started giving me rubber ducks.
Do people like want to give you a duck tattoo? Is that something like other tattooers like, I want to add to your duck collection?
I would say a lot of people want to get a duck tattooed from me.
Okay.
Like I've tattooed a bunch of ducks on people.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like a standard?
I mean, not really just a standard rubber duck. I drew this little cartoon of a little duck that's like flipping you off. And that's kind of like that's the whole What in the Duck podcast thing.
Okay,
so it's like,
how long did it take you to come up with that name? Like I'm surely that was like an option from the get-go. Did you like try and find a better name, or was it like out of the gate, don't even want to think about it anymore?
Well, I'm just kind of like, the whole idea is like, what in the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck is up? So basically when you talk to somebody, you want to find out what the fuck is up. So I didn't want to call my podcast What in the Fuck. And I was like, oh, well, What in the Duck is great.
Yeah, it's everything.
And also, whenever I type fuck on my phone, it changes it to duck.
It doesn't do it anymore. Have you noticed that?
But for years.
I know.
It did. And
how did they get the memo? Like, what do you think was like, all right, we got to change it? Like, obviously, they're not
now that it doesn't do it, I kind of miss it.
I do too. That's exactly what I'm getting at. Like,
so yeah, it's just kind of like, so that's the whole deal.
Is it doing that because it's learned from our methods, or did they literally go in and go, all right, we got to change this up worldwide?
I think that 10 years, 15 years ago, however many years ago it was, I think that the world was a lot less R-rated. And now everything is, everybody says fuck every second. So they're just like, you know what? Let's just get with the times.
Cave in.
And I don't know if they initially it had to be some sort of like anti-profane type statement they were making to try to stop people from saying fuck or whatever.
And for it to go on as long as it did.
Forever.
Like, people working there were having the same problem we were, like they're like, the guy underneath me that I'm a boss over the people making it do this.
But some of the cool things that the predictive text has, somebody at Apple was doing some cool things. Because if you write the word Motorhead, it puts the little fucking umlaut on there.
Really?
It does some cool little shit like that. So they're at the same time as they're changing your fuck to duck, they're doing other cool little shit.
All right.
I think they do the same thing to Motley Crue, but I don't know. But anyway.
I don't know. I never write Motley Crue.
But they capitalize certain things, you know, like if you write iPhone, it makes it like lowercase I, capital P.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
it puts it in their preferred nomenclature, you know what I mean? But I guess somebody who's there was anti-F. They just didn't want the fuck.
They absolutely were.
Well, basically, you asked at the beginning on the onset, is there an agenda? And the agenda is always the same, just to find out what the fuck is up. So you just got back from the congregation.
I did.
Our buddy Jake, Prism Supply, puts on a great show in Charlotte, North Carolina. Motorcycle show, car show, really, really exquisitely curated show.
Yeah, a bunch of sick ass vans
and just
lots of space. You can like really walk around, check out each angle of the bike that you want to see.
Cool space.
It's a real cool. I mean, it's an old bomb factory. You know, it reminds me of the bomb factory the Southern Throwdown used to happen in. Yeah, it's a great spot, dude. And the people of Charlotte, I hadn't been there in years, or at least for the event anyways. And they're great. You know, it's like, it's really a different vibe than almost every motorcycle show in the country.
Definitely.
For sure. Like it is, you know, they party. Yeah, it's just a different.
It's one of those shows where you don't have to be in the scene to enjoy the show.
No.
There's bands playing. There's all kinds of cool shit. They always have art displays. They have a lot of cool shit for sale. Not only motorcycle shit. You know, they have in the area. There's all kinds of food. And
dude, how much has that grown? When I first went there,
they
nothing. Were the only people there in this giant facility.
Yeah. Now it's like now it's kind of uptown.
Oh, it's fun. They're gonna get ran out. It's gonna get priced out of their own spot that they made popular.
I hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, I mean, I think that they're, you know, they could find something more fitting for them.
It's a really cool spot. Camp North End, they call it.
That's it. Camp North End.
Charlotte, North Carolina, great
It was
town.
a Ford factory, and then the war started. They moved in, took all the metal out of the building, replaced it with wood, and then started spitting missiles out.
Very cool.
It is.
Very cool. Well, I had to miss it, and I usually go. Cheap Thrill sponsors it. I love the event, and I was bummed that I couldn't be there. So I hope y'all had fun.
We did.
And I plan on being there next year.
Good. They missed you.
But a year is a long way away, so who knows what could happen.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
What's the last thing you did before that?
So before I went to Charlotte, I was in Pennsylvania.
Because you've been busy.
At Comp Distributing. Did a podcast with Tom Banks.
Oh, cool.
The bank robber, dude.
My buddy Tom.
Dude, he's so fucking great. So we get up there.
Is his last name really Banks?
Yeah, I confirmed this. I was like, is this like are you fucking with us, you know? Yeah, it is. Him and all his brothers.
And so they robbed Banks.
Name. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Dude, the story's great. He's like, man, at one point, I could walk in there and just leap, no problem, be on top of that counter. Just fucking jump up there, guns blazing. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, he went to prison.
Yeah.
For bank robbery.
Served his time.
Now he's an upstanding member of the community.
Oh, he's better than that, dude. He was fucking making me pizza, dude. He had an apron on, fucking brick oven, dude. Oh, so fucking good. But him and some guys that bought a company called Competition Distributing.
Yep.
Specializing in old parts. It's funny when they talk about vintage, they're not talking about anything newer than like Knuckleheads is not even vintage to them, you know, like when they're speaking. But they're going to put on a race next year.
Yeah, because that's a modern bike.
Yeah, that's a modern bike.
Because
a Knucklehead.
It's the modern
overhead
style frame.
Valve,
yeah.
They're putting on a race next year called the Motorcycle Trans Am, which is coast to coast, 100-year-old bikes only.
Trans, baby.
And he asked me if I wanted to come up and ride the 1920 JD that he's completed a couple cannonballs on. I'm like, absolutely. So
when
I go
is
up
this
there,
race?
September of next year. You got to get in, dude.
I got a bike.
Yeah, you got to get in on this. Dude, the way that they've curated the whole routes, like each town that we're stopping at.
So he's taking over the cannonball.
Dude, he's doing something even better.
Yeah.
I mean, I never went on that one, but the legwork that Sean and Kelsey have been putting into this starts in the Outer Banks. It's going to finish in Oregon. Each night we're stopping like at an old town. The towns are all like throwing fucking block parties and shit. Like one of them's bringing in the Wall of Death. What the mayor's going to parade us into town at one place. It's going to be pretty fucking sweet. And but anyway, so I'm up there. I'm like test riding the 21, and less than a mile from the shop, dude, handlebars pop out, and I fucking ride this original paint, just wreck it into the ditch right in front of Tom. I'm like, holy fuck!
You wrecked?
Oh yeah.
What?
Well, you know,
put the handlebars back in.
Guys those long, like wraparound beach cruisers,
and they slip into the Springer.
Dude, so as soon as they popped out, I was like, that's gonna be hard to step. And before I could even think about it, it was fucking in
Did the front end start?
Oh no, it just went straight to the ditch. Like, literally.
You couldn't do anything.
No, there was nothing. I mean, and it was like it was starting from a stop. I just dropped the clutch and throttled it, and it took off. And when I pulled back, the handlebars just came with me. And I'm like, you know, the motor just starts revving to the moon. I get over there, turn it off.
Who put this thing together?
And Tom just looks at me and goes, they're kind of hard to steer without handlebars. And we just start laughing, dude. I'm like, all right, so lesson learned. I need to go over these things before.
Oh my God. This is great.
But no, Sean had been doing the service on it, and Sean was distracted. He was doing something else. So me and Tom were like, oh, well, we'll go ride the 21. We didn't go, hey, Sean, is there anything that, you know, the bike's on the lift for a reason. And I felt it was loose, but I'm like, it's 100-year-old fucking motorcycle. Like, of course it's fucking loose, you know?
This is great.
It was good.
So how fucked up did the bike get? You didn't get fucked up.
No, we just picked it up and kept riding. No, it was fine. I pulled a wrench out of my pocket, tightened it up. That was it.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
Amazing.
And just his like attitude, like, you know, he didn't, I mean, that bike is worth more than all my motorcycles.
What are you going to do?
Times two. You know, he's just like, whatever, you know?
What are you going to do?
So that's cool. That's what I was doing before Charlotte. I don't know what I was doing before that.
You've been getting ready for Prince Paints and Metal.
Prince Paints and Steel.
Steel.
Yeah.
Prince Paints and Steel.
I have. Really, I haven't actually.
No.
I just started getting ready yesterday.
Oh, you are getting ready.
Yeah, now.
Well, in what is it? 10 days?
Mm-hmm.
About 10 days from now, we'll be out of Born Free, Texas, the Yellow Rose Canyon. I've been out there for weeks already, busting my ass. I'm fucking sore.
Really?
We've been working.
Good.
I've been on the tractor for days. I've been fucking making signs. I've been doing all kind of shit, getting ready for Born Free.
Well, the amount that the place changed from the first to the second year, or the second to the, I mean, like, it's been drastic every time I show up. You know, I've only been out there for Born Free, Texas. I think I don't know that I've been to any other events. Maybe one of the Southern Throwdowns.
You did come.
Something.
Yeah.
But it's been cool to see it like really take on the personality of the new owners, you know, and change as we go down the line. Is what's his name? Jason's fucking cactus still out front?
Yeah.
It's shiny.
Oh, hell yeah. Looking great.
It's fucking cool, right?
Fucking real cool. Yeah, we scored on that.
Yeah, you did.
We scored. So Dan's putting together an art show, a bunch of different motorcycle
I got painters.
Builders.
I've got photographers. I've got a girl that does like mirror chiseling.
Etching.
There you go. Yeah, that'll be cool.
I like chiseling. Keep it chisel on them.
Yeah, something like that. And then I got the CeeLo Scramble happening, dude. Guys that are building, dude, they've already like gone so much further beyond than what I thought they might do.
This is a hard thing to explain.
I know.
So
I know.
Dan came up with this idea years ago that a bunch of builders would get together, build motorcycles, bring them
not even get together, build motorcycles at their shop.
And then bring them together, and then everybody just rolls the dice, and everybody wins someone else's motorcycle, and everybody leaves with a different motorcycle than they came with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the idea was to go like meet in a central location. Everybody had to ride their bike there. That's like the proving ground.
Make sure it makes it. And
then once you get there, everybody ends up swapping bikes depending on the roll of the dice. And then you got to ride that new bike back to where you came from. And mainly that was just to do something different. And then also like to just put a little bit on the line. And like a lot of these guys are never going to buy a builder's bike. Like,
but now they get a chance to get one.
Yeah, but now they got a chance to get one in exchange for a bike that they've built, It'll be interesting.
Most people will probably sell this bike after they get it.
I mean, maybe. I mean, honestly, at first I did think that.
Yeah.
Or I didn't even think that, but I like
assume. Maybe.
Just didn't really put much thought, just kind of thought
whatever they do with
whatever they're going to do with it. But now, like, there's some things that have happened that I didn't really see coming. Like, I wanted each person to build a bike that represents them. Well, I didn't think about them being efficient, and doing this to where they're not just spending a bunch of money. It's bringing out the personality of each builder even more because they're leaning into the stuff that they're really good at. Like they're doing, it's accentuating what their specialization is. So each bike is really taking on, the builder's characteristics, which is cool to see. And they all like respect each other a lot, like,
well,
and are going to appreciate.
You curated a crew of people that are in like mind.
Yeah, that was the part that was, I think, one of the most important parts. Find people that were capable of doing this without like not feeding their kids, and have a reputation that they're proud of, and they want to keep that going. And they're, they like taking chances. They've all been invited to build a bike and put it in the field and go home with it. Like this is just something I wanted to do that was different. And yeah, they all said yes. And it was funny at first. They were all excited. Everybody's like, oh, this is a fucking great idea. And then like a couple months go by and they're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, well, how much effort am I supposed to like? Then they started asking more questions and getting kind of nervous. And I just kept saying, just know that one of these other guys is going home with a bike you built, like,
yeah.
What do you want him to go home with?
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that? And then I think Warren came out of the gate swinging fastest, like assembled a bike, took it apart and had somebody paint it and then, posted the paint. And I was trying to like figure out what was the best way to, to promote it and build up the idea. The first thing was like, let's just wait till after Born Free California and then we'll start talking about it. And then I didn't do a real good job of communicating like a plan with the builder. So it's just kind of like everybody just thought they weren't supposed to post anything. Like I didn't make it a clear message. And then Warren came out and posted his shit painted and it looked sick. It was like, I think it was way beyond what we all were kind of expecting anybody to do. So he just set that bar really high, a cool ass custom front end, Tony Sundell paint job. I think it's like a Milwaukee Benny front end. He's got a Baker transmission on it. It's a fucking sweet little ride. So he was like, set the bar pretty high, which I think gave everybody else a little confidence. Like, okay, if this is what we're doing, then, now I can really put some effort into it. And then it slowly turned into, I don't want to have the worst bike there mentality. It's like, now they're like all just been coming out swinging and it's fucking,
and how many
great.
People?
6 guys.
6
I got
dudes.
Warren Heyer from Milwaukee, Mama Tried, Nick Resty out of Birmingham, Easy Company out of fucking somewhere in the Northeast, Daryl Borba, now in Houston, Bad Choppers, Borba's After Dark, Dwayne from Peculiar Parts House, and then Jay Ryan from Gusher Cycles. So they all really have like their own styles. I mean, Jay Ryan's just like a master fabricator with this like psychedelic style. Nick is just fucking tough guy, biker shit, and he just put out this black bike. I mean, everything's black on it. Springer front end with some cool Batwing logo on the side of it. I don't know what Dwayne's doing. It's like a wide glide. He's been pretty hush hush. The videos he was sending me, like once everybody started like finishing their bikes, he was like, still has a pile of parts. And he's like, I'm just working on rolling dice right now. Get to building the bike later. And then the Easy Company guys, they got like a full molded frame that they narrowed, that everything's one piece. What else we got? Jay Ryan. Oh, and Daryl, I haven't seen anything out of. Nothing. He's just posted pictures of piles of parts. But Chemical Randy posted a photo the other day and it said CeeLo Scramble on it. So I don't know if that's the bike.
Paint?
Yeah. If he painted that for Daryl or.
Well, I'm sure Randy's doing the paint.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
Now that Randy's living down there in, what's the name of it?
Magnolia.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. And they still don't really know how the dice game is going to work. And some of them.
Do you know how the dice game's going to work?
I have an idea.
Okay.
I do. Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of things that could happen that there is a chance that one person goes home with their bike, depending on how the dice roll.
What if there's only one? There can't only be one because there's an even number of people. So it'd be 2 people would have
No.
to. What do you mean?
No, it could be one person at the
Oh.
very end.
I got you.
Or
Yeah.
I could just make it to where if it gets down to those 2 people,
You don't get your own
you
bike.
don't get your own bike.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the idea of like that being a possibility because now everybody wants to get another bike or,
Is there going to be a way that like someone gets to choose the one that they get?
Nope.
Or they just get
no, it's
given
all,
the one they get?
Yeah. So what we'll do is just like you start a game of dice, everybody will roll a number.
Yeah.
Highest number goes first.
Oh,
So
yeah.
say Nick rolls a 6. All right. Nick's bike goes in the pot. Nick steps to the side.
Everybody rolls for
Nick
Nick's
doesn't
bike.
play. Yeah. Whoever wins Nick's bike, their bike goes into the pot.
That's pretty good.
You go down that way. But so Nick will be back in. So Nick's in there and his bike
It's gone.
is gone.
Yeah.
And it could go to like, if somebody doesn't win any of those games, then their bike will be like
Last.
Nick
And
and
they'll be
somebody
last.
else will be last and their bike will be in there. And depending on how that roll goes, Nick will either get the bike that's not like if Nick wins that last game, then that guy who didn't win any games. I guess if you don't win any games, you don't get your bike or you get your bike.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
I mean, let the dice decide, dude.
Yeah. And then
If that's fate it is.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna let everybody vote on their favorite. And Boston Billy built me a shovelhead motor to give them. Cycle Electric gave them all charging systems. Lowbrows hooked them up. Yeah.
So whoever gets voted on, the best bike wins the shovelhead motor.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then I was thinking, just to like extend this if everybody's excited and there's like a crowd down there, figure out like what the buyout is from one of these guys. Like, hey,
Do you have People's Choice Award?
well, the People's Choice is picking who gets the shovelhead. What I'm saying is like,
it's not the builders voting.
no, I'm going to let people.
People's Choice vote.
Yeah.
I like that.
But then like, hey, what if I can get 40 people to play a game of CeeLo at $100 a hand? Will you take $4,000 and then we'll let these guys play for the shovelhead? Just let people from the crowd play a game.
And what happens?
Just somebody wins a shovelhead.
Oh,
You know,
the people win the shovelhead.
Yeah, like if I can I'll talk to the builders when we get
I'm
there
in.
and like figure out what number buys that shovelhead motor. That way we can get the crowd into just to play another game. Have you seen the dice table this guy's fucking building?
No, but hold on. Let's pause for a second.
Okay.
We need another motor so we can definitely have the crowd roll for a shovelhead motor.
I mean, I think there's going to be a number. And here's the deal. And if the crowd doesn't match that number, then we'll just play for all those $100 bills,
Yeah.
No?
I said, I'm thinking, yeah, I want to roll. I want to win a motor.
Well, so I told the guys early on, I was like, or I don't know if I told all, and this is still like a thought I've had is to put the builders on the spot. Like, all right, we're fixing to play the game, get ready, bikes are out. And they'd be like, all right, does anybody in the crowd have a bike that they think is a high enough caliber to be a part of this game? And then just see what people roll up, It's like, and then I'll make the first decision like, oh, that's a piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here. Like, oh, this guy's he's got a clapped out panhead, but
It's nice.
maybe you guys want it, And then I'll look over at the builders and like give them a count to 3. And if I get 6 thumbs up, we add somebody else into the game.
Oh.
Like if somebody can bring something to the table that all 6 guys are like, all right, it's not a nose cone shovel and it's not a fresh build, but it is a 59 that runs,
Man, I might bring a bike to try to get in on this.
I mean, I think it would be just to add another element and see,
I like this idea.
I think it could go places. And there's been a lot of people that have hit me up, like Cody, one of the Long brothers who puts on the Grundle run. He hit me up and I was like, dude, I've already got 6 people, with the commitment from Cycle. I don't want to ask Cycle Electric for more. Like I'm just stopping at 6, but maybe if you bring something, and that's when he's like, fuck it, I'm going to build your dice table. And he's gone over the fucking rails.
Who's building the dice table?
This guy out of Georgia. He puts on the Grundle run. His
Okay.
name's Cody. And it's like custom cut legs. There's a rim as like the border. It's cut out, born free. Did I send you a video of this thing?
I haven't seen it.
Dude, it's fucking nuts. I'm going to show it to you right now. I don't care if these people can see it or not.
They can see it later.
Because it is fucking sick, dude.
So I'm going to give a quick disclaimer to the people listening to this podcast right now. By the time this podcast airs, this will be over. So oh shit.
Okay, right?
And it's got a piece of glass over it or something?
Dude, now he's painting it.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's gonna have glass over it. That's fucking sick, right?
Dude, that's totally sick. So check it out, guys. By the time you hear this podcast, what we're talking about right now will have already happened. So if you are not in the know right now, as you're listening, you can get on your Instagram and look at all this stuff. You can see the dice table. You can see all 6 bikes.
Yeah.
You can see all this shit. It'll be on my feed. It'll be on Born Free feed. It'll be on Danger Dan's feed.
And on Thursday, I'm going to take the guys for a ride, and they're all going to like play musical bikes. Everybody's going to get a chance to ride all the bikes. I already got it mapped out.
Oh, I say you swing by the Cosmic Shed.
Yeah, that is a possibility.
Hell yeah.
And that's like, to make sure nobody brings a turd, just to kind of like shake them down. And I want to make a video of like, Warren on each different bike.
Yeah,
like
that'd be cool.
Just fucking quick little.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I got Brett coming down from Idaho to help me out.
Hell yeah. Lolo run Breck.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
So I was talking to Kyle this weekend. You'll get a kick out of this. And I don't know. I guess it'll already have happened at this point, so it doesn't matter. And we were talking about the night show. You can spill
all the beans you want.
Yeah, Saturday night. Just like the past couple of years, the Outbound Train plays on the Wall of Death stage, and then they do a night show. So he's like, dude, I got this black light, glow-in-the-dark tape. I'm going to put it up on the walls. I'm going to bring in smoke machines and laser lights and a disco ball.
And play Pink Floyd.
And kill the lights while I'm going around in the wall. And it'll just be fucking blacked out.
And you got to play Pink Floyd, dude.
And he's going to dress up like Ryan Gosling from Behind the Pines. And I was like... And he was like, why don't we just make it a costume party? And I'm like, why don't we just, okay, let's fucking do it. So Saturday night is now going to be a costume party.
You got to dress up as the fucking.
So he was like, I got the tattoos for this Ryan Gosling character. He's like, I'll go ahead and order you the Post Malone tattoos so that you can, have your face done up for the party. And then the best dressed people at the costume party are going to get to see that show from inside the wall. He's going to go pick the best dressed people for the late night show.
This sounds great.
I know.
You got to play Pink Floyd while the laser light smoke machine.
I'm going to leave that up to him. And
I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah, whatever. It'll be fucking sick though, right? Lights go out, fucking him just going around in circles.
Yeah.
With a wife beater on or whatever the fuck Gosling wears.
We'll have to get some of those little like LED battery powered little twinkle lights he could put on the bike.
On the spokes, spinning around.
You could do that.
Yeah.
I used to.
And I think with the laser lights and the disco ball, like it's going to be fucking sick. Smoke machine going. So originally I was like trying to figure out how to line up all these activities. So I got like 3 activities, right? You got a dice game. In the band, I'm like, does the band go first before the dice game? Like, what's the climax? And now I'm like, knowing that he's going to do that, as soon as the band gets done, people are going to be rushing the Wall of Death. So the dice game's got to happen first.
Yeah.
Then the Outbound Train, then the fucking.
You kind of want the dice game to happen before it's like pitch black dark anyway.
Oh, no, it's going to happen while it's dark. For sure. So the way I'm going to do it, I got a guy coming and painting the front wall, like it's going to be like graffiti, Prince paints in steel.
Okay.
And then all the bikes are going to be on pedestals inside the show that have like, he's painting their name on the top of the pedestal.
Yeah.
So for the dice game, pull all the bikes out the pedestals, build like a mini stage in front of that front wall with all their names, the wall behind us, trying to rig up like street light looking things. So it look like just like a corner of an alleyway.
How many people are going to be able to get in there and watch this dice game?
Well, it's going to be on the outside.
Okay.
So that way the crowd fuck as far as they want to go,
all right.
And yeah, now then we'll kick it all. We'll start the whole thing with a Kickstart competition right there at the front.
Go live. We'll go live on Instagram for this.
Yeah, it's going to have to be.
Yeah. So we're doing a Kickstart competition.
Yeah.
Anybody going to put these bikes in the Kickstart competition?
I thought about just making them do that, like having one.
That'd be great.
But I mean, really, Thursday will be fun because each one of them will have to kickstart each bike like just seeing how that all, each person riding each bike, having to go start it up, the banter. I mean, I don't know how we're going to capture all that and make a video, but there will be some content that comes out of that for sure. It'll be fun.
Breck is good.
Yeah, I know.
Breck will get the content. Whatever content he gets, he'll make it good.
I know. It'll be great.
The video he made for the Lolo run was so killer.
Yeah.
Multiple times, multiple years. Yeah, is he just doing it? He's doing it all himself, or he got somebody else helping him, or what?
No, he's coming down.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I think he's going to ride on the back of the bike to get riding shots on Thursday. I got an idea of the things I would like to try and get. I like specifically a video for each one of the guys where they're riding each bike, just like, and then maybe do one for each bike where the rider on the bike changes.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be fucking real cool. Other than that, like, capturing the event, showcasing the artists that are going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. Born Free Texas #3 coming up real soon. Is got a lot of different shit going on.
Did I see that there's going to be BMX? Did we get the East Texas X Games guy to come out with his big ramp?
I do not think that is happening.
No.
And by the time they're listening to this, you will know that it did not happen.
I was really stoked to see that. I don't even remember where I saw it now. But the guy I'm talking about, he's bad as fuck, dude. He lives out there. I know about
it, and I heard about it, and then I think it was on a very early promotion, but I don't think that it is. I would love to be wrong and have it be there, but I don't think it is.
I mean, I would love to see some fucking freestyle motocross guys jumping over the wall of death or jumping over the main stage, like right down there in the bottom of the
pond.
canyon.
You can jump over that pond.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty big jump.
Nah, they jump further than that. That pond's small. The small pond. Not the big pond, the small pond.
So, and another thing I'm going to do, and I'm glad that this isn't going out ahead of time because I don't want to promote it too much, but we're going to do a race on Saturday morning, a hare scramble.
Hare?
Yeah.
What's hare scramble?
Like off-road, through the trees, around the canyon, 1 hour. So like, say Saturday morning, we'll probably start signups at like 8, right? And I'll lay out the course. Actually, I'll have somebody
Any
else.
bike.
Well, I'm going to have classes like a pull start, a big twin, or like a pull start, chopper, and dirt bike class, like 3 or 4 classes, not a lot. It'll be pretty wide open.
I'm going to tell you right now, you should not have people doing baggers through the woods back there.
They can do whatever they want.
They
might make one lap if they're on a bagger.
They're not. Somebody's going to crash.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're going to crash even if I don't do a race.
Yeah, but crash it. Okay, yeah, for sure.
But from like 9 to 10
there, dude.
Or 10 to 11, like for 1 hour, how many laps can you do? There'll be like multiple spots where you stop and get a hole punched in your card. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I think an hour is.
I'm going to use those.
An hour is a long time.
It is. Yeah, it is a long time.
To ride a bagger in the sand.
You might just want to do 1 lap. Like on a chopper, no, I just do 2 laps. I've already done more laps than anybody else is doing on the chopper. And it took me 30 minutes. I don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But the mini bikes,
dirt bikes,
everybody else, they'll fucking go the whole hour,
Yeah, we had an endurance race out there with the mini bike race one year where he had most lap. I can't remember how long it was. It may have been an hour. It may have not been an hour, but it was. The bike stayed the same, but you could change riders.
Oh, gotcha.
And so it's like not a relay. What do you call it?
It's like a hare scramble.
Yeah. So you could have a team of 2 people that switched off and took turns riding.
Rally race or something.
But I think the kid that won it rode it himself.
Really? Was it like 8 hours, 6 hours?
No, it was like an hour. But the lap it took about maybe 4 minutes to make a lap. So it's a lot of laps.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would say half of the bikes broke something. Broke a handlebar, broke a foot peg, broke an axle.
The thing is, when it's that small, you're doing it so many times it gets cut in.
But there's a half the track is really bumpy.
Yeah.
And so bikes with no suspension, mini bikes with no suspension, shit's just breaking, dude. Yeah.
I'm hoping to get like a 15-minute lap.
One guy broke like both his foot pegs off, so he rode like 20 minutes with no foot pegs, just feet
on
dangling.
His butt, dude. Fuck. I just got some chapstick from Lowbrow. He probably could have used that on his butt.
Hey, so you got some shit from Lowbrow for the Kickstart contest?
No, but I will. Oh, actually, I do. I do have some. I got a box.
You
Yeah,
gotta
I got
have some
stuff.
straps, dude. Give them.
I don't
the
have as
straps.
many straps as we had at Fandango. Now, actually, they probably will send me some.
So I'll tell
I
this
should make
this
that
story.
happen.
We had a Kickstart contest at the Fandango, and Dan, everybody that once you were out and once your bike didn't start and you were kicked out, he gave you a set of lowbrow straps. Like, put that shit on the trailer and get the fuck out of here.
That was pretty good.
It was great, dude.
So
was great.
in Denton, I did the same thing, but with the MC Shop T-shirts.
Yeah.
I would like look at what shop it is. I'm like, here, take this to fucking Easy Company so your fucking shit will work next time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the Fandango one was great. I mean, I was pissing people off. There was a couple dudes that cussed me. They came up and apologized.
Well,
afterwards.
I think the best part of the show is when people are lined up. Once they're out, get your bike out.
Yeah, mandatory.
Roll it out of here.
And what's funny is that just happened because I was like, where I was doing these like in Sturgis and Daytona, it was just like, we'd start with all the bikes scattered everywhere. And I'm like, this is fucked. I don't know who's in it.
Yeah.
And then while I'm on the microphone, like, I know I talk on a microphone a lot, but I still do not like talking in front of people. Like I get nervous. I forget people's names. I'm just like, get out of the fucking way. Like if you're not in the game.
I love it.
So that was real genuine. Me just wanting people to get the fuck out of there.
Get that bike the fuck out of here. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, they were. And it's funny that some of the guys that got mad, once they'd step back and see it, they're like, oh, okay, this is, he wasn't just yelling at me. But it's tough when your bike's not starting. That's one thing. When your bike's not starting in front of a bunch of people and there's a guy yelling at you on a microphone, I can see how you might get a little flustered.
Oh man, I got totally boned out at the Denton show.
Oh,
at
yeah.
Burnouts. I got called in to come kickstart.
Oh, that's right.
Blake's bike.
A bike that had been starting so easily
it just pup.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, well, there you go.
It happens.
It happens.
That was a fun little gig, dude. The fucking Denton bike show.
Great show. Great turnout. Burnouts in Denton. Great show.
I mean, just using that little side street, filling it with bikes, a couple vendors, stage, Chris put some effort into getting some killer fucking talent to play some music. I wish I could have stayed longer.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
Where'd you have to go?
A birthday party. My wife's girlfriend turned 40. I showed up at a country club, dude. Everybody's dressed up real nice, and I'm just fucking sweaty.
Did they really want you there? Come on.
Somebody did. They did. Somebody did for sure.
Somebody said you got to be at this party.
Dude, I wish I could tell you more about that party right now, but I'm not going to do that to them.
No. At least it was an adult party. People try to invite me.
It did not seem like that.
Oh.
That's what we're at the front of this country club. There's like, I'm just going to stop.
Yeah. People try to invite me to like these children's birthday parties, and it's like they're 2 years old. I'm like, I'm not going to the fucking party. It's for fucking 2. The kid don't even know I'm there.
That's before the show in Denton. I went to a kid's birthday party. I dropped my kids off, and I was like, all right, peace out.
Yeah. No dice.
I made Jake's kids cry while I was in Charlotte.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, they're fragile.
Well, they're going to be a lot tougher now, dude. On Sunday, they added something to the show, which was fucking killer, dude. So on Sunday, we went to an airport and they had drag racing.
Oh, yeah. They told me about this.
Fucking so, I mean, it was like, there was no rules,
one day show Saturday.
Yeah.
And then they usually have this other car show that's on Sunday. They kind of join together and put a drag strip on the airport.
It was sick. It was so sick. But I got my ass beat both races. So I had to beat somebody at something. So I went to his house, and on the way to his place, his kid called and was like, hey, does Dan want to play Uno? And I was like, absolutely. But, I played to fucking win. And not only did I win, but I made both those kids cry before that game was over, dude. And I felt a lot better about myself.
Draw 4, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, no, they were good sports, but I leaned into them.
I said something to his kids, and they just got, they got real quiet, and Jake said, come on, Oliver. And I'm like, man, I'm not PG, dude.
He's never even said that to me, dude.
Can't have these kids around. I'm not good. I tell, people bring their kids in a tattoo shop, and there's a sign on the door that says no children.
Is it really?
Yeah. There's an actual sign hanging at Elm Street that says no children, and then underneath it says this ain't Chuck E. Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And people bring their kids in, and I'm like, and friends of mine
Yeah.
that I know these kids, they bring their kids in. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, come on, blah, blah, blah. It's me. We're friends. I'm like, and I, say some fucked up shit in front of their kids. And they're like, oh, I'm like, you're not supposed to ever fucking get in here.
Oh, yeah. You definitely can't say nothing. If you bring the kids in past the sign, like
Yeah.
You have no say.
A friend of mine brought her kid in there, and he's probably, waist high kid. And I said, hey, man, you can't fucking be in here. And she's like, hey, watch your mouth. I'm like, it's a fucking tat shop. And I look at the kid. I'm like, you want to stay in here? Kick your mom in the shin. And this kid, before he could even think about it, just fucking wham, kicked his mom in the shin.
Fucking way.
And I started laughing, and he started laughing, and the mom's mad and trying to scold him, but he's too busy laughing, and I'm egging it on. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, turns around, and she's like, we're out of here. I'm like, yes. That's exactly like threaten me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, get the fuck out.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it was pretty great. Any kid that kicks their mom in the shin can come in a tat shop.
Yeah.
So if you don't want, it's a fucking tat shop. You got no business in here. There's titties out. There's shit on the wall. There's fucking.
They made it pretty clear, multiple people on Saturday's show before they gave me the microphone that to let me know it was kid friendly.
Oh, yeah.
And I made sure to let them know that doesn't matter. If I have a microphone in my hands, there will be some F-bombs and God knows what else.
I did a pretty good job taming my emceeing.
Well, and I told him, I'm like, even if I tell you I'm not going to do it, once I get the microphone, like I don't write out what I'm fixing to say.
Yeah, you're going to say, this is fucking cool. It's fucking cool, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, I didn't do like a bunch of talking, but
yeah.
It doesn't take much before an F-bomb flies out, dude. And Jake had I got to give Jake credit. So at the end, they only gave away 4 awards, right? It was a dice pick, prison pick, Harley pick, and a best paint pick from some painters.
Yeah.
So they bring them all up to the stage, and Jake was like, hey, we got to do something at the end, like to just close it out. And I'm like, okay, what are we doing? He's like, why don't you just make them do a Kickstart competition? I'm like, with 4 show bikes, like, I don't know how to make this work. He's like, just, whoever starts first. Cause like, what I've done with the Kickstart competition from what I learned from Kirk was like, just kind of give it more of an entertaining thing to it, like kind of add some dynamics to make the bike start. Like I want the bikes to all start, like that is good. Then we can try some crazy
if
shit.
None start, the show's over.
Show's over. It's fucking done, and that happened in Sturgis this year. Like one of the things that shouldn't have knocked any of the bikes out, like all of a sudden we have a winner. I'm like, what? We didn't even do anything fun yet. Like you guys fucking suck. But yeah, it ended up working good. I was like, I kept every time I gave somebody an award, I'm like, now stay here. Like we're not fucking done. What's funny, one kid stood there and I'm like, no, get the fuck off the stage.
But don't leave.
But stay right here, And then as soon as it was all over, I was like, all right, like I got $100 bill, whose bike can start first? And they're all looking at me and I'm like, no, like right now, like
whoever starts the bike
come
first.
over here. Like, and they're slowly walking out there. I'm like, right fucking, like, what are you guys doing? Like,
it's a race.
It's a race. Exactly. And then, some dude's bike started a couple kicks and everybody else the other 3 guys are looking at, no, one guy was trying. And the other 2 were like, what are we doing? And I'm like,
you're lost.
Yeah,
That's
done.
what you're doing.
You're not doing anything now, dude. But it ended up working out great, like.
Well, last year when I gave away the awards, I tried to get a couple of people to start their bikes, and it was like very obvious that the bikes were not going to start.
At the congregation?
And they wouldn't try, and like one guy wouldn't try it. And I'm just like, I kind of like razzed a little bit. And then Jake's like,
well, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Because I was giving somebody a hard time. Oh, this fucking thing won a show but can't start. And Jake's like, ah.
One of their biggest customers, bikes covered in prison parts. No wonder it won't start.
No, but and then Luke had a bike that was like a found.
Like a barn find.
Like a barn find old chopper that hadn't even been gone through yet. I'm like, what? This thing ain't going to fucking start? He's like, not yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is such a fun thing. And, I never actually, well, I guess I did. I did one. Kirk Sharp did one that I was in at Southern Throwdown.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I ever did that he like.
Didn't you win?
Oh yeah, I won.
Yeah, you won.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you winning.
But I mean, the Just Kickers event like always intrigued me. Like hearing stories about everybody I've met that like I've met a lot of good people that got to go to that event, and you know I just didn't know anybody. I didn't even have a Kickstart bike at that time, but
yeah,
you know, and then I did one in New Mexico, and it fucking worked out great. You know, I had them get people out of the crowd, and I literally just I didn't have a plan for any of this. I had never done one. I was just kind of just winging it, and you know, pulling people out of the crowd has been like a favorite. You know, and that show did it because I did it on Memorial Day weekend, and I had them go pick a veteran. I'm like, go find somebody with veteran gear on, and those veterans were so stoked. You know, by the time it got to them, the bikes were starting easy. You know, like. So they got to Kickstart a bike, and they were so stoked because they used to have bikes that had a Kickstart on.
Yeah.
Like, mine never started that good. You know, like they were just so stoked to do that for the first time in 30 or 40 years, however long it'd been.
To give everybody a little bit of context here. So in a Kickstart contest, Danger Dan has done at quite a few events over the last couple of years, put on a Kickstart event where everybody brings their bike that's Kickstart only, and they all Kickstart them. And if they start, they stay in the competition. If they don't start, they have to get the fuck out. Yeah. And then once you get down to like the final, usually somewhere between 6 or 8 bikes or so that are all starting pretty well, it's pretty easy, and you can't just keep doing that forever. So he starts mixing it up to make it trickier. Yeah. And one of the things that he's done is you have to get your friend to come out and start it. You have to get a girl to come out and start it. You have to get someone you don't know, and you start picking random people from the crowd.
Yeah, I really have to lean on like wherever we're at. Like each spot's got different things available.
But if people normally kickstart it with their right leg, they have to kickstart with their left leg, or they have to sit on the bike backwards and reverse cowboy it. They have to do all the...
that one will get them.
A lot of people lost.
When you want this game or show to be over, like reverse cowgirl gets them every time. Dude.
But so it becomes this game at the end, and then usually at the last, there's a few bikes that will just start no matter what. So you do this thing where you turn off the gas. Yeah. And so whoever's carburetor will hold enough fuel to start 2 or 3 more times. And then.
Well, so now once I get down to 2 or 3, I figure out a race where it's like, we're going to end this. So they're going to do something.
You had to run.
Go jump in a pool, jump in a river.
Yeah.
So since.
Barefoot. You do barefoot?
No, since the Fandango.
Barefoot's coming up, dude.
There's some others that are. There's some others like so. After the Fandango, Chris and Heather from Cycle Source were like, "Hey Dan, we want you to come do this at the Smokeout." And I'm like, "Cool, I can't go." If they're like, "Well, we're gonna do it anyways, is that okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely."
I don't know this shit.
Yeah, like go for it. So then they're like, "All right, we're gonna get Roadside to do it." And I'm like, "All right, now I want to go." Like now I want to see Roadside. Like that's right up his alley. Somebody sent me a video. He had him like run to the bar, take a shot, do a push-up. This dude comes running through the field and like does a karate kick, leaping through the air and lands on his kicker. I'm like, no fucking way.
Video.
And it fires right up.
How did he do that?
So good. So then in Milwaukee.
Hey, that could have went so wrong.
Kelvis did the same thing at the.
That could have went so wrong.
Oh, it could have gone in so many ways, dude. In so many ways. Backfire as he's
fall over or fucking
anything.
Oh man!
I mean, I've seen people hurt themselves standing next to their bike trying to kick it. So and that dude was big too. Like he fucking came in hot.
I mean, I can't even imagine.
Kelvis. So at the Stupid Chopper show, they're at Chris Graves' place, Bad Moon Saloon,
with 2 O's.
Yep.
Stupid.
What is that?
The Stupid. Don't they?
Oh, the Stupid show.
Stupid?
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Bad Moon.
No.
Moon has 2 O's. Yes, Oliver.
Okay. Stupid.
Where was it? Oh, yeah. So he got down to the last couple. He made him run inside. And like, I guess there's some shot there that just tastes like shit. He's like, all right, go in there and take the shot. Come back out, start your bike. But you got to hold the shot in your mouth the whole time. And then whoever fills up the shot glass with the most, like whoever didn't drink it or, whoever fills up the shot glass the most wins. Like, oh, that's pretty creative. But there's so many things to do. And then I tried so we were on a trip a few years ago and we one of our buddies' daughters was turning 16. So we show up at his house and we stopped by and got a piñata and then got a bunch of food to cook.
SpongeBob?
No.
Damn it.
No, it was a donkey. We would stop by a Mexican spot. They didn't have fucking SpongeBob there.
They always have SpongeBob.
Nah, not at the real meat carniceria. But so the guys like they want to fucking swing at the deal, and I'm like, all right, well, if the grown men are gonna do it, you're blindfolded, the thing's on a rope, and you got to spin around on a stick, like however old you are. And we fucking had everybody was falling down trying to swing. So at Nitty Gritty, Kickstart Mike did one of these competitions, and he incorporated that. He was like, all right, spin around on the stick and then kickstart your bike, which it didn't work because you could just spin around and then wait till you're not dizzy and kickstart your bike. So that's when I was like, all right, so if you do 2 of them, make them race. And that's what I tried at the
Burnouts.
At Burnouts, yeah.
But the one guy wasn't doing the spin right.
No, he didn't.
The other guy did.
He fucking did.
And he was dizzy.
Puked. Yeah. That one's got to be fine-tuned. They all got to be fine-tuned a little bit. And it's all different every time. The reverse cowgirl's good. I mean, that one's tough. Yeah, I don't know what I'll do at Texas.
I think we're probably going to have a pretty good crowd of people enter the Kickstart contest at Born Free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm going to have a spotlight and a bullhorn. Actually, I'll have a PA down there, but I'm going to spotlight them. Like just straight up. You're up.
Are you going to do that Kickstart contest over by the?
Yeah. Well, so from what I'm understanding, they're shutting down the ball or not the ball, the
bowl after
the bowl
after
a little
band.
bit later than they did last year. So I'm just going to start my party at dark each night. I think last year I started at 5 or something.
Yeah.
This year I'm just like, it's essentially it's just like the after party. Like as soon as they run everybody out from there, come by and we'll party there until Jeff quits turning vinyl, until he complains about all the dirt and the grooves or some shit,
Jeff Milburn.
I am putting him a floor down this year.
DJ Jeff Milburn. Oh, you putting a floor in the tent?
Yeah.
What kind of floor? Like snap
just
together?
Canvas.
Yeah.
Just canvas tarp.
a big roll. Yeah.
Well, I'm just kidding. I want some more canvas tarps anyway, so I'm just buying them and
there you go. 3
of them, staple them down. Just because Jeff bitched so much. Every time I talk to him after, like for a year, he's like, I'm still cleaning dirt out of my vinyl.
Took me a month to clean my records. We've been talking about DJ Jeff Milburn a lot. If you need a DJ, Jeff Milburn is the DJ for you.
And he's cheap, dude.
Yeah,
super cheap.
Really inexpensive, and he's got a lot of great records. He plays good music.
He really does, dude. Like that was my first time to ever see him do that. I had no idea, and it was so great. Like abstract music, like
his
a lot of people who do vinyl these days, they're like showing off their collection. Like when you see somebody doing it, they're like, oh, look at this. I've got a song you've never heard of. He was in there like playing good music based on the reaction he was getting from the last piece of music he played.
He's good.
It was fucking great.
Yeah. I highly recommend him as a DJ.
Mm-hmm. When's the last time you had him DJ something?
Elm Fest,
the
tattoo event. We always have him DJ.
Oh yeah.
The Sunday night party.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He begrudgingly does it.
Yeah, I know.
I just announced it. I just announced that he's doing it before he agrees to it. So I was like, "You're already in."
Well,
you're already in.
I told him. I was like, "I've already told people." So
he said he wasn't doing it. I was like, "You're doing it."
Yeah,
you're already on the list.
Yeah, he tried to tell me that as well. I did have a conversation the other day that made me think of you. I met a girl. I think her name was Brooke in Nevada at the Virginia City Roundup, which was another fucking sweet ass show.
Wish I would have been there.
And I asked her, we were talking about books, and I asked her we got on the subject of bike riders, right? And she was like, I fucking loved it, like I've watched it in theaters multiple times. I've already watched it at my house. But one of the books we were talking about was Blood Meridian. And I made this like realization. I'm like, oh, Jeff Nichols. Wait, let me get this right. Jeff Nichols learned about bike riders through Ben Nichols, having the book. And then he also has the song that he wrote about the movie. And then, Jeff ended up making the movie. Well, Ben Nichols did an album about the characters from Blood Meridian. And now I'm just like, Hopefully Jeff Nichols
I think
will fucking do
hey,
Blood Meridian. It would be
listen.
so sick.
I think Jeff Nichols has a screenplay in the works
for
that.
Blood Meridian.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
This may be misinformation.
I mean, you know that they've tried, like Scorsese tried to do this.
This may be misinformation.
Like
but
it.
I think he does. I think he has it in his mind. I don't know at what stage it may or may not be in of actually trying to happen or not.
I think he's the guy because it
would be hard to make a 2-hour movie.
Oh, it'd be so hard. Yeah, it'd be real hard. But what's crazy is like how that book really dabbles in a lot of the ideas that he portrays in all of his films, you know, like relationships between men and like,
well, they're definitely fans.
People. Yeah. I mean,
who
isn't? Anybody that reads that book.
The Nichols brothers are definitely into that niche of the world. You know what I mean? They're into that. I mean, Ben, that's obviously Ben's favorite fucking book.
It's so good.
And the album.
The album's great too.
It's fucking phenomenal.
I mean, it's like a 5-song EP.
Last Pale Light in the West.
Yeah.
And it's the songs are fucking great. And there's a lot of there's some little tidbits of characters from that book in other songs as well.
I imagine.
And just the kind of the mindset and motif of some of the songs are, influenced by that writing. And
I didn't realize. So when Cormac McCarthy died, was it last year? Yeah, last year.
Within the last 2 years, at least, right?
Somebody had wrote an article and talked to multiple musicians that
are influenced by
him. And and they talked about the way that he writes and like the cadence of his words. So it made me go back because I'd only listened to it. So I went back and started reading it and just I don't know. Now I've read it so many times and listened to it so many times. But yeah, apparently he's influenced a lot of musicians. Anyways, I just made that connection the other day. It'd be fucking so good.
Well, who knows?
Yeah. Right now, Westerns are hot right now. Like now is the time.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that Jeff Nichols is going to make another motorcycle movie.
That's probably safe to say.
That movie came out so fucking cool. I feel like
you could. Yeah.
I've been talking to a lot of people about it, and there's some naysayers, but I think most people it's just a good movie.
It really is.
And I think the big complaint, the only viable complaint I've heard from motorcycle people about it is that they were expecting more motorcycle stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, it's a movie with motorcycles in it. It's not, if for us that love vintage Harley Davidson, you know, it's going to make a 2-hour movie. It's just nothing but motorcycles.
No.
Nobody really has, a lot of people watched it multiple times and it just gets better.
It does.
It just gets better. The soundtrack is incredible. The acting is actually really fucking good. There's a few characters in there that really stand out and shine. But overall, I think it came out fucking killer. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Legacy Ink, the finest in tattoo pigments. I have been using this ink exclusively for over 20 years myself. It has been recently rebranded and marketed, but it has been the same recipe for decades. Real, hand-mixed tattoo pigments that heal great and last. People always comment on the yellow that I use and the yellow tattooed on me. My favorite, the Mayan yellow. I have seen countless 20-plus-year-old tattoos with the colors still vivid. Don't fuck around with all these newfangled companies with their watered-down baloney. Get the tried, true, and tested good shit. You can find them on Instagram at Legacy Pigments or email Ashley today to place an order at legacyartsupplies@gmail.com. Tell them Oliver sent you and receive a special discount. Don't just do tattoos. Be a part of a legacy. I've watched it probably more times than most people.
It's so much better than I thought it. Like, I was afraid they were going to fuck it up, right? Yeah. And then I'm like, well, hopefully it's like at least good. It's really good.
It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful.
It is. And there's so many. Okay, one question I have, and I would love to talk to him about this, is, he drew inspiration from the book. It's obvious, right? Like all the stories in the book. And he also had,
But dude, there's a lot of scenes that line up like perfectly
Yeah.
with the photo. And a lot of people complain about Austin riding over the bridge, not on the bridge bike.
those people.
But that's one photo that they didn't capture. There's so many other photos in the book that are in the movie almost perfectly.
Well, what I'm getting at is the storyline.
Yeah.
It's
a movie. It's close.
Well, it's close to the real story.
Yeah.
Like it's like the stuff that he supposedly made up to pull it all together. If you go back and look at the real history from what I've looked at, it's real fucking close to what really, like, so close that, he would not want to say, like, did he do research or did he just kind of make that up and it fell in place and it looks the same? Like something similar happened. The guy wasn't from Milwaukee. It was a guy from Chicago that, came in and changed it. Like there's a lot of stuff that's like, dude, that's fucking. And have you talked to any club guys?
I was. That's one thing that I was interested about is because every year at the congregation, there's a bunch of outlaws there.
Yeah. I only saw one, and I wanted to talk to him, and I saw him in passing, and that was it.
Yeah, it would be interesting to hear what they said about it.
I went to their clubhouse in Milwaukee, like hoping somebody would have been outside, and while at the same time, like not wanting to hang out there because it looks fucking gnarly too.
But I mean, I feel like they're probably. I mean, it's a pretty good homage. I mean, it's a pretty cool story, and to have the history, have it be at least based on real history, I think is fucking cool.
Yeah.
I don't think that, and it was done. I think it's done in the right way that nobody really gonna get fucking pissed about it.
No,
but it's fucking cool.
No, I mean the only thing they could get mad about is just like not getting credit for something.
But at the same time, you don't want credit.
No, that's exactly right. Like
the names have been changed to protect the guilty.
The patches.
Oh man. But the trials and tribulations of making a movie like that with antique motorcycles really put the studio and all the production side to the test. It's fucking a pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah.
And
you made that pretty clear on the podcast you did with Jeff.
And coupled with the director, having it be on film, which is another added difficulty, and all that coming together. I mean, it was tough to get it made, and I think it paid off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what's next? You got a whole bunch of shit going on this year. The year's almost over. What do you got?
Year's almost over.
What do you got?
After Born Free, I'm taking some guys to Mexico, assuming that something crazy doesn't happen in between now and November 4th.
I think something crazy might happen close to November 4th.
I do have a backup plan. I told Bear, I've been going to Nepal with Motorcycle Sherpa for like 4 years now. And at the beginning of the year, he's like, all right, Dan, which trip you want to do? And I'm like, normally I go in the fall because the spring's just too much going on. And I'm like, I cannot leave the country this year. Like I can't say I'm going to leave my family in Texas and go to the other side of the world in November.
Yeah.
Like I just can't do it. And I'm glad I did that. Cause I don't know what's going to happen.
So what, you riding to Mexico?
Riding to Mexico. Yeah.
New bike?
Take the Pan Ams.
Yeah.
No, so I've done the chopper. I've taken the chopper down into Copper Canyon with the guys before. Done the Devil's Backbone, the toll road, the old road. I'm going to a lot of the places I've been to on the chopper, but with the Pan Am and taking a lot of dirt.
Yeah.
At least for part of it. And then we're going to go to.
How many people?
To Scott Johnson.
So one person.
Jake Hines.
2 people.
And Derek.
Oh, Jake's going.
Yeah, Jake and Derek both.
Does he have a Pan Am too, or he's getting one?
Both of them got Pan Ams.
Oh, he got one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Scott's going to ride my other one. I got 2 of them.
Cool.
Yeah. It's gonna be fucking great, actually. I mean, right now it's kind of fucked.
I mean, Jake's into that fucking enduro shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Scott raced the Baja 1000.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all capable riders for sure. And I couldn't take anybody that's not a capable rider because I'm gonna get myself into trouble. I gotta need people that are better riders than me, really, because I'm gonna end up taking us places where shit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And in Mexico, you don't want to, when you're at the bottom of the Copper Canyon, you can't get hurt. Like, that's not good.
Medevac ain't coming to get you.
No, dude. You might get one of those Tarahumara Indians, those little people. They're like, there's people that are like, they're like fucking 3.5 foot tall. These ladies in little dresses, and they like literally run. It's crazy. You'll be on a road, haven't seen anything for a few hours. You're not going to see anything else for another few hours. And you'll just see like a little person running through the trees. Like, it's very creepy or you'll just see them sitting on the side of the road in these brightly colored dresses. And you haven't seen a building or anything
and they're
miles.
Just out there.
Yeah. Those people, they're known for their extreme endurance. Like in the 90s, they did a 30 for 30 on them, where they came to America and they were just winning all these epic ultras, like those 100-mile marathons. But those people, they're known for microdosing mescaline, like eating the peyote down there and just running wherever they needed to go through the fucking canyons. And they're still there doing it.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
That sounds good.
It is. It is.
So how long is this trip going to be?
12 days, 10, 12 days. Gonna go
leaving
through Chihuahua, like starting Big Bend, right through the Chihuahua Desert.
Where are you leaving? Is Jake like riding down here? Or is he driving down here?
They're gonna trailer down here
and then start where?
At my house.
Start in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. Right through Texas. Go.
So it might be you might get a little chilly weather on the way out of Texas.
Oh, it's gonna be chilly where we're going.
Gets warmer down south, don't it?
Yeah, until you start crossing those giant mountains, dude.
Oh, then you get up high.
Yeah, we'll be in altitude. They were asking me this morning what to bring, and I'm like, well, we're gonna get cold, and then we're gonna go to the beach
and get wet.
Yeah, it's gonna be everything. Have you ridden down there much?
No.
So good.
In Mexico?
Yeah.
No. I rode a motorcycle around in Mexico City a long time ago, just when I was there for a tattoo convention. But I haven't ridden I haven't done a cross-country ride.
It's just right there.
I know.
It's so good. What about Big Bend?
I've ridden all through there.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, I've ridden all through there. I mean, inside America, I've ridden pretty much everywhere. I just never rode across the border.
It's good.
Into Canada or into Mexico.
Yeah, I need to do Canada.
Not me. I don't let me in there.
They won't let me either, but I gotta work around.
I hear there's a couple spots on a motorcycle that you could probably fandangle it.
Well, I found this Indian.
Yeah.
He's got a cigarette boat, and he'll just take you across the Great Lake. That's what I want to do.
With your motorcycle.
Yeah, with the motorcycle. Yeah. And then like go to Alaska where they gotta let you in.
Then you're a legal immigrant.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'll be an alien at that point.
So my plan of the last couple of years, which didn't end up happening because of the whole fucking pandemic shit, but we were gonna ride to Washington, take the ferry to Alaska, ride around Alaska in the summer, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't like the cold, so in the summer. And then take the ferry back. Because I'd love to go ride around Alaska, but riding across Canada is not an option for me.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully,
surely, I think after like 10 years, it can be an option.
At this point, I am not going to do it.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm self-deciding to not participate in anything Canada has to offer.
Okay.
I had some bad experience getting thrown out of Canada, and I'm like, fuck.
Oh, so you have been there?
Yeah. I mean, I attempted to go snowboarding there and got thrown out.
Okay.
And I'm just like, they put me through so much shit.
I thought you didn't like cold.
Well,
is that why you don't like cold? You got thrown out of Canada?
When I was younger, I used to go snowboarding every year.
Okay.
I'll say I hate snow unless you're on a mountain skiing or snowboarding.
Okay.
If there's paved street at your house and there's snow, that's bullshit. Who would build a house where that happens? That's crazy to me.
Lots of people do.
I know.
Lots of people
I could not
do.
live in like Minneapolis or fucking any of those cities.
Or Pennsylvania, or there's like,
Mm.
where there's like no. I guess Pennsylvania, you could probably snowmobile. I would like to go on a good like cross, maybe not country snow, like go on a snowmobile trip where you're going places.
Yeah. My dad lived in Wyoming when I was in high school. He was working at oil business up there and oil drilling rigs up there. And I fucking spent a lot of winters up there riding snowmobiles and fucking go-karts with chain tires and dirt bikes with chain tires and all kind. And it was fun shit.
Yeah.
And snowmobiles, dude, are insane.
Yeah.
Like you crash a snowmobile, it is fucking treacherous, dude.
I mean, snow is so soft. What are you
but the
talking about,
snowmobile
dude?
is like a huge, heavy fucking log and the track is spinning and you fucking get underneath that shit when it flips. It's gnarly, dude. But luckily, usually the way you crash a snowmobile, it's kind of like the same way when you crash like a wave runner or jet ski or something, you get flung from it.
Yep.
So you don't get underneath it, but it's still scary as fuck.
Well, and just like you can hit all sorts of shit in the snow if you don't know, if you're just making fresh tracks.
When you're fucking hauling ass across a big field and the snow is, and it's a big drift, sometimes if you're going fast enough, the snowmobile will float on the top, but then if you slow down at the wrong time and you sink,
go down.
I mean, you sink and hit something or that's below the snow and you just get thrown over the fucking, most of the time you just get thrown over the handlebars and you go flying. I mean, they fucking haul ass, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, 30, 40 miles an hour on a snowmobile seems real fast.
It's real
dude.
fast.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, 20 miles an hour on a snowboard seems like you're fucking.
Dude, the last time
cooking.
I did it, well, maybe not the last time, but the first time I got to ride a really fast one up in Wyoming, I ate a bunch of acid out there with my fucking family, dude. I'm like trying to talk to my brothers, telling them how cool it is. It felt like somebody was just like,
oh yeah,
sheets, like flipping your sheets, and you're like trying to cover your bed. That's what the snow is doing in my peripheral vision. So fucking wild. I look back there, we took like a family photo and everybody's got their helmet off except for me. I'm like, no, this is staying on for all this.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't like the cold. The older I get, the less I like the cold.
Yeah.
Like I had a lot of fun doing snowboarding and all that kind of winter sports when I was young. And now like the cold, back then the fun was worth the cold. Now I'm like, no, I don't want nothing to do with it.
I haven't done it in years, but last year my kids, we took them snowboarding and they fucking ate it up.
Where'd you go?
Red River, New Mexico. I have a feeling we'll be going back.
Dude, you gotta go to Utah.
Yeah.
The best fucking snow. The best fucking snow in the world.
Really like a Park City.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
I mean, I've heard people talk about the best snow. The Swiss Alps has the best snow, or
Utah, it's like fucking.
What is the best snow?
Dude,
what's wrong with the snow I got in New Mexico that they make on the mountains?
You'll see. When you go to Utah and you hit and you can take like the fucking lift to the lift to the lift, and then you're fucking on this huge ass mountain and you fucking can just cruise through powder for an hour on the way down, dude.
I don't know about that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
And it's just the right amount of temperature, humidity. It can be like not super freezing cold, so it's not icy and it's fluffy and it's just beautiful.
Huh. When's the last time you did that?
The last time I snowboarded was in New York, and it was probably about 6 years ago. Maybe 5 years ago. Right? Maybe 2019.
Okay.
And that was not great.
Yeah, I didn't know there was skiing in New York.
Upstate New York. Upstate New York and New Jersey. It's like real icy. Oh, we dropped something. Real icy and a lot of man-made snow and a lot of fucking, just not. I mean, it was fun, but it wasn't the best.
What, in Utah?
No, Bend, Oregon's really nice too. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Colorado has a lot of great places, but fucking nothing beats Utah. I've been snowboarding 100 different mountains. Utah's the shit.
Shit is fucking expensive. I probably won't be taking my kids to Utah. Dude, snowboarding is fucking
anything to do.
passes.
Anything to do on the mountain these days is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Staying in a hotel anywhere near the mountain is expensive.
Yeah.
Fucking any kind of gear you got to rent is expensive. Any kind of gear you got to buy is expensive. The fucking boots and bindings and boards.
Red River's still pretty redneck.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah. When I mean in the 90s, it was relatively. It wasn't. I mean a lift pass was like $20.
yeah.
You know, it's like, and you could, bunch of teenagers could get a fucking motel, fucking sleep on the floor for fucking $50 a night. And, you know, I mean, Durango, Colorado had a bunch of little Motel 6s and shit. And, but nowadays it's like any accommodations near the mountain during snow season is expensive. It's crazy.
Durango, you didn't go to Four Corners. What events did you do this year? Because you got around.
I didn't do shit this year. I feel like
no,
it's been a busy year.
It's been a busy.
It's been a busy year for tattooing. I did a lot of tattoo events. We went to fucking Iceland for a tattoo convention.
Oh, you got on a plane this year.
We did.
Is that like the first time since 19 that you got on a plane?
It's not the first time I got on a plane, but it's the first time I left the country.
Okay.
Since 19. Yeah, I went to Iceland for a tattoo convention. I did fly. I flew up to Detroit for a buddy's funeral. I flew one other time for something else, just small little flights, and it was miserable. Just getting on a plane now is fucking miserable. The airport is miserable now. I feel like everything in the travel industry has just taken a downgrade since 2020 happened.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I think all mass everything that you can experience, like lots of people can experience, is not good. No,
yeah, the airport experience
it's like fast food.
Is fucking miserable now, and the being on a plane. I mean, I flew so much for so many years, and it used to be kind of luxurious. And then it slowly got less luxurious.
Smoke on the airplane.
It slowly got less luxurious through the decades.
Yeah.
But I was so accustomed to flying every week that it was just like I was in and out, going through. And then once I didn't fly for a couple years, when I did fly, I was just like, ugh.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah,
I flew way too much this year.
So I drive a lot of places. We went to Boise. We went to Party to Penn. We drove there. That was far. You know, we went to I don't know where else we went.
How was that tattoo? I mean, dude, that fucking noise bouncing off those walls all fucking day long, dude.
Dude, it was fucking resonating in there.
Yeah.
We're in this concrete building at the Idaho State Penitentiary, Party to Penn. We had 15, 16 something fucking tattooers in the maximum security wing and death row of the prison. And it's just like nothing but solid steel and concrete brick and
from floor to ceiling
and quarried rock out of the mountain, like this whole building. So inside there, it's just like echoey and you know, and so there's a dozen people tattooing nonstop at any given time. And so it's just like, we did have some music playing in there, but it's like all echoey and fucking.
It was there or at
it was awesome
at the pre-party where I thought one of our speakers was bussing, you know, we're doing sound check,
machine.
And I'm like, you know, somebody will do something about that. And they were almost done. And I'm like, are we all just going to ignore this buzz coming from the speaker? And they're like, that's a tattoo machine. That's not the speaker.
Oh,
like,
man.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what a great show that was.
Fuck yeah.
What a great show. Party at the Penn.
Well, dude, there's so many shows. Like the venue has really got to be something special, you know, like for people to show up now, because there's so many options all over the country. And
that's the fucking thing, man. Is I feel this year, when I said I didn't do shit this year, I said that because I feel like I missed out on a lot of things. Because there's so much shit going on, so you can't do it all.
Correct.
You know, and I missed out on congregation, which is something I usually do, so I feel missed out on that. And then there's, you know, you said Virginia City, and
Virginia City is one of those ones that
I missed out.
Special.
Yeah.
Dude, where they set up the rodeo, there's got a view that they call the 1,000,000-mile view, where you can literally see for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And then the old town is like, it's like fucking wood plank sidewalks. All the places are like fucking casinos and bars. And it's not like a manufactured old
Touristy
school
looking,
look.
yeah.
It's fucking like old shit that's been there and
Yeah.
been used and is still hanging on. It's pretty fucking cool.
Looks fucking cool. Wish I could go. But yeah, it's like every weekend there's something.
Mm-hmm.
There
is.
And you just can't do it all.
No fucking way.
So, and next year is looking the same. Busy, stacked up. Have to choose what to do, what not to do.
Yep.
We were just talking about this before we got here. It's like you have certain things that take precedence and everything else is out the fucking window. So just kind of see what.
And there's only 12 months in a year, dude. And they go by so quick.
I mean, 52 weekends and there's an event every fucking weekend.
Yeah.
There's an event every single fucking weekend. And at some point you need to just fucking like.
So
be
going
home.
to Iceland, did that like open? I mean, there's already enough to do here. Is it like made you start looking at other things outside the country again? I mean, because you used to do that pretty often, right?
I mean, I did. I was going to Europe 6 or 8 times a year for the last 15 years of my tattoo career.
Yeah.
You know, and so there's a couple more things I might do next year. Ireland and the convention in England I might do next year. There's a few things, Italy next year. So we'll see. I hate to get on the deal and commit to 3 or 4 European trips, but we are scheduled to go to Japan in December.
For Moon Eyes?
Yeah.
Damn.
So that's coming up quick.
Are you taking a rig? Are you gonna tattoo? You gonna vend at Moon Eyes?
Yeah, we're gonna have a little setup at Moon Eyes. We're gonna be set up with Carrie from Choppers Mags and Beetle Helmets. We'll just have like a small little setup there just to kind of just be a part of it and be fun.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna do some tattooing. I got some friends, a couple different friends in tattoo shops in Osaka and Tokyo.
Nice. So you're gonna spend some time over there.
Audra's never been to Japan, so pretty excited about that. I've been a few times, but it's been a long time since I've been. So it's going to be really cool.
Are they aware of your presence over there? You know, you got like a following?
I have friends over there, and I've tattooed there before, and it's I used to make the joke I'm big in Japan, you know, because long before, I mean, whatever you want to say, I don't know, it's hard to say, but look, I'm well known or whatever.
Yeah.
Long before I felt well known here, I went to Japan, and it was like people were like, because there's tattoo magazines.
Yeah.
You know, and I was in tattoo magazines, and you know, when you're in a tattoo magazine and it's local, everybody's like, oh yeah, whatever, you know, in this tattoo. Yeah. It's not that. It didn't seem.
I heard a good saying the other day that you're always an opening act in your hometown.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Well, you get a tattoo magazine. You're in the tattoo magazine. It's like no big deal. Everybody's in a tattoo magazine. Yeah. You know, the people you know, and then you go to Japan and people are like, "You're in a magazine," you know. And I was like, "Damn, I'm big in Japan." Like in '99, I was big in Japan. Like people knew who I was in Japan, and so awesome. It's like, I mean, you know, people in Japan follow, you know, American tattoo culture, and they follow it, and they know what's going on, and they read the magazines, they get, you know, so it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
I did a couple tattoo conventions in Tokyo, early 2000, and I've tattooed at the shop a few times, and it's I got friends that tattoo over there that come tattoo over here.
Okay.
So there's some community, there's some back and forth.
Yeah, I hear the American dollar's really good over there right now.
You know, the last time I went, it was the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the first time it's been this way in a long time.
So that's right now, Japanese tourism to America is down.
Yeah.
Because they used to be able to come here and be rich, you know, but when we went there, it was the other way around. You know, you're spending a bunch of money to do anything.
Well, they used to be able to buy bikes from over here.
Yeah, they're buying less now.
Now we can buy them from over there.
Ship them back.
Ship them back, dude. Go find some motorcycles while you're there.
Oh man, like so the first time I went to Japan, we also went a few other places. Went to Bali.
Okay. Whoa.
And went to Thailand, went to Bali, went to Japan. And you go to Bali back in, I think.
Were you big in Bali?
No. Nobody in Bali knows anything about what's going on outside the world.
That's kind of what I thought.
But I was rich. I was fucking rich, dude. We go to Bali and I'm I want to buy some stuff.
Yeah.
Like some souvenirs.
Yeah.
They have all this cool shit. You know, I have a bunch of shit hanging on my walls here that are from Bali. I was like, I'm going to buy some shit. So I go to the money changer. We go to the money changer and I go to change the money. And I like multiple hundreds of US dollars,
Mhm.
you know, not a bunch of money, but like
Maxed it out.
I go to exchange money and I'm like, hand them the money. And they're like, they act kind of strange. And like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, oh, I want rupiah, you know? And they're like, the language barrier is, you know, and I'm like, oh, change US for rupiah. I want rupiah. And they're like, all this? I'm like, yeah, it's like $300 or $400. Like, yeah, I want that money. And they're like acting like I'm crazy. And so they say, okay. And then they just start handing me money through the window. And I open my
They
backpack
couldn't do it all in
and
one?
I'm just putting money in my backpack. And then I'm like, what in the hell?
Couldn't have been that much.
Dude, at the time, you got for $1 US, you got 12,500 rupiah.
Okay.
So I got like 1 million rupiah. I'm like, got money. I'm like, what? Stacks of money. And I'm like, and my buddy's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what? I'm going to spend some money. And he's like, shit is like, you don't need that much money.
Yeah. I was a millionaire once in Argentina.
So I had this fucking money and they're like, dude, fucking crazy. And so I was like walking around and like you go to buy something and it's like 30,000 rupiah, 40,000 rupiah.
Which is 30 cents.
And so it's heavily barter system.
Okay.
Especially in the markets where you're buying like a carved mask or something. And I'm like, I want to buy this mask. And they're like, oh, it's 40,000. I'm like, how about 30,000? And they're like, no, I'll give 35,000. I'm like, how about 37,000? You know, and we're bartering. And my buddy's like, hey man, you're arguing over 2 cents right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck it. Here's 40,000. You know, I'm like the shitty fucking American fucking, But it's like you get caught up in this fun barter and you're like, they're saying 40 and you say 30 and you want to like,
Well, see, and like in Nepal, the same thing. And I would never barter, right? Like it's pennies, right? And then I went with a friend, I went shopping with a friend over there, Rouser. And seeing him do it just to engage, like it wasn't because he wanted the quarter. I was like, oh, okay, so there's more than, you know, the money that's a part of this fucking, you know, communication thing and dance, you know.
But in Bali at the time, our hotel was $5 a night. And it was a nice place.
Yeah.
That came with breakfast and had a little bungalow and by a lagoon, walked to the beach. It was fucking incredible. $5 a night.
Wow.
Like you go to this fucking restaurant, eat a big ass dinner, all you can eat. It's like $2. Like shit is fucking, so, you know, $300, $400 is like insane. Like I bought these, and so we go to Thailand. And it's also not as extreme, but also similar. Like the money is way different. And I bought, on the street, people are selling polo shirts. Oh, yeah. Like Ralph Lauren polo shirts. Literally a couple of blocks away from the factory that make the Ralph Lauren polo shit. Yeah. So it's like they just stole it out of the back door. Absolutely. And now they're selling the street. So you're buying real fucking polo shirts, fucking $0.25.
Oh my God.
So I bought like one of every color. And so then I come home and for like the next year, every day I'm just wearing these plaid polo shirts. Everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? Because it's completely out of character for me to be wearing these like polo shirts. I'm like, fucking $0.25, bitch. I bought this shirt for $0.25. Yeah, so I had like fucking a dozen of these button-up Ralph Lauren shirts.
A lot of people go ride motorcycles in Bali, and I don't know that there's that good of riding. I think they just go there because it's cheap.
It is beautiful though.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful country, and you can ride up through the mountains. It's fucking incredible, and there's a lot of motorcycles over there.
So in Argentina,
that's where I want to go.
The pesos or whatever. I think it's a peso down there. You know, it's the same deal. It's like not. It translates well for us. But like their culture is kind of what makes it that way because they don't value money as much as they value like time and food and like these experiences. Like it just makes sense why their money isn't worth that much because they don't treat it as though it's worth that much until they talk about like leaving the country and they're like, oh, fuck, we can't do anything when we exchange our money out. But Argentina is fucking beautiful, and it is worth going to.
But if you went to Bali, like the main island, you could ride for, a few days and ride the entire island.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
But there's a lot of people. There's a lot of motorcycles over there. I saw a family of 5 on a fucking scooter going down the fucking main road full of traffic, dude. Like literally, and the only one of the family of 5 that was wearing any sort of footwear at all was the father, and he was wearing flip-flops. So he had the father's riding the scooter, the mom sitting behind him. There's a kid sitting on the luggage rack, holding on to the mom, a baby in the mom's arms, and then the little kid standing in the front, holding on the handlebars and like between his dad's leg. And they're just like, wow. And they're all barefoot, and dad's got flip-flops on. And I'm just like, this is insanity.
It is. No helmets?
No helmets. No, I mean, just the dad was wearing shorts and flip-flops, nothing else. Just in the middle of traffic, just like cars, wah, 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 and just zing, flipping through there. But they have like a bunch of ex Harley road glide police bikes over there.
Really?
And like all the police,
like
all
Evos, 90s, 80s?
Yeah, 80s and 90s. All the police have those over there. And Quigley from Dream Machines, he actually sold like 15 or 20 ex-cop bikes to the Bali police force and had them all shipped over there.
Get the fuck out of
here. Yeah,
here.
that was about probably maybe 10 years ago or so.
Huh.
It's a great,
so they don't have them left over. They are buying them to
Well, they're used, but yeah. But dude, it's cool. If you've never been, you'll love it.
There's so many places I want to go. That is one of them. I want to ride dirt bikes through Thailand.
I'll tell you what, you go to fucking Thailand is fucking amazing, but Bangkok City is the scariest fucking place to be on a motorcycle.
It can't be any worse than like Kathmandu or.
But it's like, the thing is it's the city of Bangkok is so many people. It's so big. It's like New York City times I don't know how many. And it's like the traffic is out of control. And we were going to, me and 2 friends were over there, and we were going to meet somebody. And then I went back to the room, and I was like, I'll meet you there. And I came back out, and I was going to get a taxi or a tuk-tuk, the little fucking tuk-tuk things.
Pedal one or a gas
No, it's
power?
like a gas power. Yeah. But in the city, it's like gnarly, dude. It's like every street is like 6 lanes and traffic in each direction. And it's like, wah, 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 and go everywhere. And I'm like, trying to get a taxi. And this kid comes up. He's like, you need taxi. I'm like, yeah, I need taxi. He's like, where are you going? And I'm like, tell him where I'm going. He's like, no problem. Come with me. And I'm like, what? He's like, come with me. And he starts walking away. And I'm like, and I follow him. And he's like, come on. And then we get to the corner, and he's got a fucking dirt bike. And he's like, hop on.
Perfect.
And I'm just like, is this really what we're going to do? And I'm like, I hop on this fucking bike.
Would you have felt more protected?
It's like a street legal dirt bike, Duro bike. I hop on the back, and we fucking just go whizzing through the fucking streets. It was fucking insane.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I was like, man, it was gnarly. A lot of people die crossing the street.
Oh yeah. Lima, Peru is probably the gnarliest spot I've been. And like Buenos Aires was big. I've been to some other big cities that were crazy.
Like if you don't know your way around, it would be, if you're trying to figure out where to turn.
I'm doing it with my phone in all these places. Like with my phone's in my pocket and I pull it off. Have you seen the video where I got smoked in Lima, Peru? Like just fucking somebody opened up a door. Took me out. But Lima, all over Peru, like literally they don't acknowledge, like if you're on a motorcycle,
they don't care.
No, you get out of the way. The trucks are not stopping for you. They're not slow. They're not merging with you. They're going. You're not there.
It's your job to fit in.
Fucking like in even Mexico City, like they're pretty, They respect your space to some degree. Lima, Peru, you do not have, you are not fucking there, dude. It is wild. And on a big bike like that. Kathmandu, I've only done on like the Royal Enfield, and it's pretty small. There's not saddlebags on it. Splitting lanes is really easy. Yeah, I get so excited.
But there's a lot of motorcycles over there.
Yeah. Well, in those fucking places, I mean, it's just so much more effective. Like in traffic like that,
Yeah.
It is better to be on a motorcycle. Obviously, that guy showed you on that dirt bike. I can't imagine getting on the back of somebody's bike, though, Oliver. Some
wild.
kid on the side of the road.
I mean, I was young.
Drumming up business.
It was the 90s, dude.
Do you have any desire to go ride places like that anywhere?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily need to ride through the city of Bangkok, but all around Thailand is fucking incredible.
Is that more? I mean, there's plenty of pavement out there, right? Like you could go. Or would you need?
Oh yeah, there's roads, there's highways that go all over the country, up into the mountains, and it's like we took a train from Bangkok up to Chiang Mai, up into the mountains, like a whole day train ride up there, and it's pretty cool. Go into the jungle. But there's areas you can get off the beaten path and go whatever.
Yeah.
But there's definitely cities and towns all throughout there, small towns, small villages.
I find that like riding around Nepal, it is the gnarliest is like when you get out of town on those two lane roads, the highways that don't have a shoulder, people are rolling fast as they can fucking go.
Yeah.
The buses just stop. Like there's not bus stops. Like if you see a bus, just know that at any point
it's gonna stop.
He might just hit his fucking brakes. Like at any point there is that is a bus stop. Like if somebody waves their hand, the bus stops. No matter what the road you're on looks like. They're fucking crazy.
Yeah, that whole trip, those Nepal trips look like the coolest fucking thing ever.
They are.
Yeah. We have definitely talked about doing one of those trips.
I'm sure.
As yet, have not made it happen, but it's definitely on the list of things we'd love to do.
Dude, what Bear has curated over there is, I did not want to, I had no desire to go on a fucking any curated group trip with people I didn't know. Like that just didn't. And then finally he talked me into it. And there were some people on that first trip that I knew or like had met before. But I guess I underestimated how much there is to experience when you're not thinking about food, not thinking about where you're going to stay, like not thinking about where you're going. You're just like riding around, taking it all in, and then being with some people like-minded individuals that you can like share what happened with throughout the day or each evening. It's fucking great. It's changed the way I fucking travel altogether, really.
Man.
Like, because those things I used to, like, that's part of it, like, where am I going to stay? Where am I, like, I enjoy that stuff as well. But, like, if you're going to spend 24 hours on a fucking plane,
yeah,
you want to go over there and take in everything else. And you don't have to think about all those small things.
So basically, Bear from White Knuckler Brand Knives has put together this whole, basically his own little tourism group where he takes people on trips where they ride motorcycles across country in Nepal. How many people go per trip?
Usually there's like 8 to 12. I think he max is 13 or 14. And then he's got a chase crew, right? And
there's bikes. Everybody gets, he takes care of all the accommodations,
dude,
all the bikes.
That's another thing you don't have to think about is like bike, dude, if your bike breaks,
they give you no one.
Yeah. Some dude shows up, fucking gives you his bike and then fixes your bike and then gives it back to you at the next stop.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. That really took a minute to get used to. I'm like, each day I'm like, all right, let's, they're like, no, get out of here, Dan. Don't even think about working on your own bike. Yeah, it's fucking good.
And how many days?
It's like 11 days on the ground total. And like one of those days, it's like 10 days of riding. One day you take a break.
How many miles a day or how many hours a day?
Yeah. Not as many as you would think.
Yeah.
Like the number seems kind of low. And at first that was another thing. It took a minute to adjust to, but like,
cause you're not doing 80 miles an hour on the highway.
Sometimes you're doing 90.
Oh yeah,
Sick.
but you're also doing a lot of
yeah. There's a
contour.
lot of turning, but like we would stop after lunch each day. Sometimes it's like you're done at once. Sometimes you end up not getting done till 4 or 5. You know,
Yeah.
because what's crazy is the longest days are the shortest amount of kilometers because you're fucking on the side of a cliff in a
Yeah.
traffic jam on a mountain. You know, where you're like just fucking wild.
How many of those have you done?
3.
And you, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were like the host or led one of them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like working with Bear, you know, helping him out as much as I can with hoping to at some point, you know,
take
like,
over and host one, or
I mean, I don't know how much I'm just going to take over,
No,
but yeah, I would love to, like, you know, I mean, I say that like I would like to be the leader, but I've done just enough where I'm like, oh shit, you know, like being responsible for everybody, you know, like there's a lot going on. And luckily he does have a lot of experience doing it.
but he's on it,
Yeah, he's on every trip. Yeah.
and he's got it dialed. How many has he done in total? Do you have any clue?
Oh, fuck, a lot. Because he does
Dozens.
like 6 or more a year. Because he's got Nepal, India, Mongolia. He's working on some in Europe.
Oh,
And I do believe as we go down the road that there is potential for me to, like, you know, to lead a whole trip.
yeah.
Once, you know, as he spreads himself thin. And the thing about it is the crew that he has in place over there, they do all the work, you know, like they know where we're going. Like really what he likes to have is an American, like a liaison, if you will, you
Yeah.
know, that like, obviously he is more than this role I'm talking about, knowing everywhere you're going, but like, you know, if that way, if you do have something go wrong, you have an American you can go talk to, like, hey, we got this. I need some help addressing whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, and then you can, but his crew is capable of doing everything. Those guys are fucking awesome. And it's cool, like building a relationship with them over the years where, you know, I'm stoked to go see them just
Yeah,
as much as
very
I am to
cool.
ride with Bear.
And what is this this trip? What does it cost for the average person to go on it? You have any
It's
clue
like
on that?
around $5,000.
No.
And that covers everything but booze.
Yeah.
And take home, like, you know, that's the bikes, the food, the lodging, the gas,
Yeah,
everything.
that's a pretty good deal.
Oh, it's fucking every trip I've been on, like 4 days in, everybody's like, it could be over tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I've gotten my money's worth.
Yeah.
And Bear's always like, we're just getting started. Like,
Yeah.
we're not even halfway there yet.
I mean, I've talked to 3 or 4 friends of mine that have done it, you know, and they just can't say enough cool shit about it.
When it's wild.
Did you go on it when Vic went on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has he said anything about it?
I mean, he says the greatest thing ever. I'm sure he had maximum amount of words while he was on that trip. I mean,
yeah.
He is a talker.
Yeah, he talks.
But I'm sure, I mean, he told me about it endlessly.
Good.
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a wild trip he was on, dude. I mean, what's crazy is like I've done the same trip 3 times.
The same route.
Yeah, and I've done it both directions. One, you know, I've done one direction the same, but it changes so much. Like just because that terrain over there, you know, you're at the Himalayas, like they get one gnarly winter and it washes out the road that was paved before, or, you know, or they pave a road that was dirt before and then that washes. Like it's just such volatile land because it's so steep.
Yeah.
And the conditions of the winters they have there. And it's pretty fucking wild, you know, and there's so many people and they're all so like, it's like they're not even the same kind of human we are.
No.
It's like a totally different.
I mean, there's thousands of years of differences, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just insane.
Like just as simple as when they honk their horn, it's not, hey, get out of the way. It's just like, hey, I'm right here. Hey, I just want to let you know I'm right here. Or they'll just like lean on you. Like that's how close they'll be on their motorcycle, is like just lean on you at the light while you're waiting for it to turn green. You're like, whoa, dude. Hey, okay.
What's up?
You're right here, man.
Oh man. Well,
it's good.
Fingers crossed to make it happen before I die.
Yeah, you'll do it. You'll do it. South America is good too. Fuck, it's beautiful down there. And it's just right there.
Yeah.
It's right there. They just speak Spanish. I don't, but
I mean, you've been spending a lot of time down there. You get picked up a few things?
I find that when you show up looking like me, if it's the middle of the day, they probably think you need gas and a taco.
Yeah.
If it's the end of the day, they're like, he probably wants a place to sleep and a beer.
Yeah.
You know, like they're, yeah, no.
It's not that hard to figure out.
Yeah, no, it's not. But I mean, I haven't like been able to have like in-depth conversations about their culture along the way either, which is one of the things that, would be a lot cooler. But riding Harley Davidson specifically, like riding my Harley Davidson through South America, you attract other people that like Harley Davidsons, right? And they're fucking everywhere. Well, that same kind of person has taught himself English or herself English because all the shit they find about Harley Davidson is in English. So it kind of like handicap any learning that I would have done along the way, because the people that were seeking me out or that I was engaging with the most, hell, they wanted to learn. They wanted to speak English to me just so they could speak English.
I mean, most of the younger tattooers I met in Japan, even in the 90s, like spoke a fair amount of English. We could communicate.
Yeah.
So, everybody sees you, they instantly talk English to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's way different than people coming here.
Exactly. So yeah, I guess the people that I wanted
the idea that a Japanese person would come here and then everybody would instantly start talking Japanese to them, that is like the most insane thing you could ever think of, right? Yeah. But you go there and they just instantly start speaking your language. It's a different world.
For everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody. Yeah. So I guess the people that I do engage with or like want to talk to, most of the time they've learned some English. So
have you encountered people that just out of random in Mexico or South America that know what you're doing and know who you are and know these things you got going on?
Dude, so we were in Mexico a few years ago.
Because you kind of made a big thing about traveling a lot of miles South America, especially since you got the Pan Am.
Well, so yeah, in South America, I don't think that, they'd never even seen that motorcycle before, like that.
Yeah.
It was
they hadn't heard about it.
Yeah, they hadn't heard about it. No, not me specifically. No.
I figured somebody would be like, Stranger Dan.
Well, okay, like in Colombia, the people at the dealerships would reach out, like on their, hey, dude, come over here.
We know you're coming through.
Yeah, we see you. The one dealership I made it to, like, I didn't make a point to go to any dealerships, like I did go to a couple, but one of them in Ecuador, when I got to Ecuador, the country was like going through these crazy protests. There was people in the streets lighting shit on fire with machetes, and it's pretty fucking intimidating. I ended up getting stuck at this like incredibly beautiful farm that had food and booze, and it was amazing. Couldn't have found a better place to get stuck at. But then like every morning I would leave there and try and like negotiate my way through the countryside and end up coming back because there was just fucked up shit going on everywhere. So after like 6 days of this, to a point where I'd like, me and my buddy Randy were like trying to get a helicopter. Like I was trying to make it home for the 4th of July. I'm like, I'm not celebrating America in fucking Ecuador. Like I'll leave this bike in a fucking barn, helicopter to the international airport and go home. And it finally cleared up. So I ride to this fucking dealership in Quito, Ecuador. And most of the time when you show up as an American on a Harley from another country, from America, at their dealership, they're pretty fucking stoked, like they want to talk. I roll up into this place after, experiencing some crazy shit. Like I'm so stoked to find some semblance of like,
it's like home base.
Yeah. Like, okay. Like I can work from like, I can go home from a Harley dealership or at least like get something, instead of like, you can't pass here. The road's on fire. We're going to cut your tire. And not that they were even that like threatening, but that's the feeling you get. Like you just don't know. But I pull up in there and it's probably the coolest dealership I've ever been to. It was on a corner and the door to go in is at the corner, but it's also like a bike goes through there and then it splits in 2 directions. There's 2 garages that go down and then a glass door that takes you upstairs. I park my bike. I park it out on the street at first and walk in. Or no, before I even walked in, the owner comes outside. And he's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Well, What do you What do you mean? What am I doing here? This is
I'm riding motorcycles.
Yeah, I just rode here from America. He's like, I'm shutting down. We can't help you. And I'm like, I was planning on leaving my bike there and going to the airport. And he's like, no, you can't. I can't help you. I'm like, I'm gonna need tires. Can you help me with it? And he's like, no. He just like said I couldn't. He was like, I'm shutting the doors down. This country's fucking bullshit, you know? And I'm like, well, I just rode here from America. Could I get like? He's like, no.
Can I pee?
Nothing, dude. And finally, like some of the workers come out and he walks off. And I find out he's from another country and he's just over this fucking protest.
He's like, why did I come here?
Yeah. He was taking out all his anger on me because I spoke English, you know, like. And those people ended up being super nice. They were like, you know, I got the treatment, not that I thought I deserved, but that you normally get when you show up. And they brought me in. There's a bar up there. It was fucking cool as shit. I don't know where I was going with this. I made it out of there.
So what happened at that dealership? Did that guy?
Oh, they ran me off. No, they wouldn't let me leave my bike there. They wouldn't fucking sell me anything. Nothing.
They wouldn't even sell you nothing?
No. Well, I mean, I didn't want to buy anything.
Yeah.
I needed tires. They didn't have tires.
Oh man.
They'd never seen that bike. I was going.
Oh, they didn't have a Pan Am bike.
They didn't have a Pan Am bike, but they had everything I needed. They just, the guy literally shutting down the doors to that dealership.
Oh, I wonder if they stayed open or not.
No, they're shut down.
Wow.
Maybe somebody bought them. I don't know. They shut down most of the dealerships. I guess that's what I was getting at is like, we were talking about if people had reached out.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the dealers in Colombia, they did. In Peru, they did. I met like a hog owners group in Peru. They were fucking cool as shit. It was like, they took me to, where is the Machu Picchu at? To Lima's the capital, Cusco. And they had like this big countrywide meetup. Pretty much everybody that owned a Harley was there. It was like fucking 500 or 600 dudes. And if you got a Harley in Peru, you got some fucking money. So they're like renting out these old churches and we're just getting drunk and eating food, like, and going to these ruins. And it was fucking awesome. And they were stoked to have us. And I met up with these Slovakians that were the Slovakians or Slovenians. They're on a Pan America, 2 up riding around down there. Yeah, that was cool. They were great. But I don't think any of them.
That's like real fucking wild adventure shit.
Oh, yeah. It was crazy. We're at this fucking church, dude. Like, and it's probably 400 or 500 years old. And up top, we're in this room, like where they used to like gather and, you know, judge the people of this, you know, of that town back then or whatever the fuck it was. And everything's carved out of wood.
Sacrifice children.
Yeah, like, that kind of shit in this fucking crazy room that's like, every chair is hand carved into the wall with these ornate fucking designs everywhere. And all these guys I'm with have got like, you know, MC cuts on top rocker, bottom rocker, you know. I've got a cup of wine in one hand and a beer in the other. And I go look over the balcony and we're at the top of this giant cathedral that is having a church service. Like, this is just insane. Yeah, they were cool. And what's funny is like riding around with them was like riding around with the hawk group, right? Like they were fucking slow. They, you know, they didn't, not all of them could ride that well when I got to this group. And by the end of the weekend, I had weaseled my way into the group of guys that could fucking ride. And for like a day and a half, I rode with him, and it was so sick to just blast around that town. Like,
so at one point, you did end up leaving your bike and coming home
multiple times, yeah.
Yeah.
And I left it. So in Quito, I ended up finding a rental company and left my bike with them because the dealership wouldn't help. I fucking celebrated 4th of July in America, and I did not do that in a country that was on the verge of collapse.
Oh, you know? Man, fucking wild. So how many times did you come back and then go back to get on the bike to finish that trip?
I think I did it in three trips.
Yeah.
One from here to Panama City to Quito, Quito to Santiago. Oh, Santiago to Buenos Aires. So 4. It was 110 days.
Damn.
So like 25, 30 days of whack.
That's a lot.
was a lot. And I didn't even plan on doing it when I left. I was just going to Costa Rica.
And then somebody's like, dude, you're there. You got to do it.
Yeah,
You're like, I gotta
fucking keep going.
Oh, man. Fucking wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I've been staying up at night thinking of Africa, just like looking at the map.
It's a large land area.
I know.
That is a large land area to ride across.
Near as many resources over there.
I mean, there's got to be a lot of areas where you got to consider navigating where you can get fuel and whatnot.
Oh, absolutely.
You could definitely get stranded.
Yeah.
In the middle of the fucking nowhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, somebody just did it on a fucking electric motorcycle though. So
they had a charge. Solar.
I'm sure they hung out at some places. You know?
Yeah.
It's like that fucking long way up where they're like hanging out in towns using all their fucking power, you know, like just to charge their bike. Like, we got to stay here an extra day to let it charge.
Oh, man.
Fucking brutal, dude.
Wild, wild, wild.
Yeah.
Well, hot diggity. I need to pee.
Okay.
Bro. Back from PP break. So basically, we're wrapping up this whole Pan America fucking whirlwind tour that you did. And, you know, this last couple years, you've really been like going crazy and strong on doing a lot of stuff and staying super fucking busy and basically living up to the name Danger Dan.
Yeah.
How much this next year is going to be just as busy, or are you slowly getting less busy or calming down a little?
If I wasn't actively trying to make it less busy, I don't know what it would look like.
Yeah.
You know, like every year I'm like, all right, I got 2 fucking kids and a wife and I want them to be there every time I come back home.
Well,
so there's like a balance.
Your kids are getting to that age where pretty soon it's getting more and more important that you're around.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, how old are the kids now?
9 and 11.
Man, once that kid's like 13, 14, 15, he can do a lot of this shit that you're doing.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, and we went on our first moto camping trip. Yeah. Yeah, try not to be gone more than 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Like that's the, you know. And
so slowly calming down.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to get smarter about it too.
Yeah.
You know, more effective use of my time. I don't think I'm getting very good at it. I said no to a lot of things this year. And
man,
I still did a lot of things.
I feel like the things that I said no to were only because I had something else going on the same time.
Really?
Yeah. So this year was this is one of those years where we were just like, okay, after this, we're going to have some time to chill. After this, we're going to have some time to chill. After this, we're going to have some time to chill. And there has been no fucking time to chill. You know, Audra is like fucking, she needs some time to chill.
Uh-huh.
So I really trying to make this Japan trip a vacation.
Gotcha.
You know, so it'll be cool. Because everything we do is work, you know, and
even when it starts out as like a vacation idea.
Nah, it's always work, man. It's always tattooing or
I find that even if we're going to go there for vacation, the next thing you know, I'm like, and get a motorcycle.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, you kind of popped a question about the whole AI thing, and you are not using any AI software for your podcast. Your podcast
not for my podcast.
Your podcast is bare bones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you do very little, if not any editing.
No editing. I add an intro.
I did hear
Randy does cocaine.
I did hear a story. I did hear a story that you had to edit something out.
Oh yeah, I definitely had to edit. Well, so I've edited a few things out,
but that just kind of went off the track or whatever.
Yeah, or
got into a unnecessary topic.
Yeah, where if all right, if I let this guy tell this story, I got to go over here and let this guy tell the same story from his, you know.
Yeah. But, you know, anytime you mention Randy on a podcast, for some reason, cocaine comes up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, whenever Randy shows up, so does cocaine.
Yes,
I don't know how that happened.
I mean, he claims that he doesn't know how that happens.
Huh.
But anyway, aside from that, he specifically said, don't talk about him doing cocaine.
Is that how that started?
I mean, I think recently when I said that you were going to come over, he was like, well, don't talk about me doing cocaine.
Really?
And I'm like, we will definitely not talk about you doing cocaine.
Why would we do that?
No, I mean, I would.
There's no reason to draw any similarities or to bring them up at the same time anyways.
So as far as AI goes, like you use AI for anything else?
Yeah.
What have you used it for?
Just like instead of using Google, if I want to find information, I recently had to like put together. So going to Mexico, I'm taking 2 bikes that my name's in, and you can't legally get permits for 2 bikes in your name. So I had to put up like a lease agreement together. So I'm going to lease the bike to somebody.
So it's technically in their name for that trip?
Yep.
Okay.
I've used it, to find places to go. Like recently I was like, if I were to go from here to here, what would I want to see? And I've also played around with like writing articles, like getting ideas for things.
I've never used it, so I'm pretty naive about the whole thing. So you said instead of Google.
Yeah.
What do you
use
do?
it as a search engine?
But where do you use it?
Oh, ChatGPT.
But you have to download ChatGPT, or is that just something you log into? Like,
I have an app.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have that yet.
Yeah.
I've never done anything.
So I've just used it for like little things at first.
Yeah.
And recently doing that contract and getting it to change file, like using it as a tool. If the app was like, okay, now we need your money. Like now that you figured out that you can use this for all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
We need to.
I know Audra has used it for some things. It's like researching.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. Or in the back channels of websites, building stuff and then laying stuff out. I know she used it somehow. I'm so clueless to the fucking computer.
You just use it as a Google search. Like
but if I picked up my phone right now, I wouldn't even know how to find it.
ChatGPT.
And that's on the internet.
Yeah, it's like an app.
But you go to Safari and say www.ChatGPT.
How did you get Spotify?
The App Store?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So the ChatGPT has an app store.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. But I have heard that for podcast and doing editing and doing video editing that they have things you can use that'll sort through and pick things. And it seems pretty insane to me.
It's really insane.
I have seen a lot of things on the internet lately, like Instagram, like obviously people were posting videos that are AI generated videos, and they're fucking crazy. And I just can't decipher if I think it's good or not. I mean, it is interesting in some things.
I mean, it's going to be like the internet.
I know. Which I also don't think it's that great
either.
It's
like it can be really good. It can be used for great things, and you can use it as a tool to make your life better and more efficient. But it can also be used by people to do the complete opposite of that.
Yeah. I mean, the more that goes on and the further we get down this road, I am still feeling that as a species, we would be better off without it. But I don't know. Who knows? I mean, there's no turning back now.
No, there's no.
What do you say that you can't put it back in the box? Can't put the genie back in the bottle or whatever you can't?
Put this fucker back in the box.
Now we're screwed. I think that the thing that the AI is going to do, in my point of view, is that it's going to really devalue people that are artists. It's going to take away their ability to monetize their talent, because it's going to be so easy for other people to just AI it instead of hiring an artist to do whatever it is they do.
Absolutely.
And I think that's going to be the same. That's going to be the exact same thing that happened to vinyl stickers that delayed the sign painters. That, used to have to get a sign painter to paint shit on your window, and now you just get sticker printed out.
Yep.
Which I also saddens me, and I still hire sign painters to come paint on my window instead of getting stickers made. But what do? You just keep on trucking.
Have a lot of value for those sign painters that are still doing it. You
just keep on trucking.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Court can look in this fucking AI fucking rabbit hole and see if it can benefit the editing on this. But
Well, just time.
Yeah.
Just save some time.
Save some time.
Yeah, I mean, you got 3 cameras here. That's 3, 5. I mean,
Yeah.
I
But
just know what I do with 2 microphones, and I'm like, fuck, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
Well,
Luckily, you got him.
I mean, Court's doing a great job.
He's doing a great job. Dude. Doing a great job of it.
Well, shit, Dan, thank you so much for coming in and bullshitting.
Oh, come on.
And thank you so much for doing what you do and kind of prodding me along and getting my podcast going.
I'm glad you did this.
I appreciate it. And it's been fun. And I do it obviously because it's fun. And I think that you do it because it's fun.
Absolutely.
And keep doing it as long as I can. And as long as I get fun people to come on and fucking let's sit around. This is the shit that we're going to do anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is, you know, I have a good time doing it. I feel like when you force, like in this today, we got to sit here for an hour and a half or whatever, and you were kind of in this forced situation where you had to tell me all these details that I didn't get to hear before. 'Cause I heard the story before, but I didn't get as much of the story as I got today.
Yeah, you learned what I was going to be doing at your venue on Saturday night.
It's going to be cool. Man,
I appreciate you, and I love that you're doing this and everything that you do and you represent. I'm stoked to be a part of it.
Well, thanks, bud. Thanks. And thank you to everybody who came out to Born Free because it was awesome. Born Free Texas 3 is done, and it was amazing. And everybody that came out, we're stoked that you came out.
Yeah.
And now back into current time, I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be fucking killer.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you and Mike and Grant and everybody, the whole team at the Yellow Rose Canyon for even like, you know, I feel like you guys are all taking a chance of just letting me do some shit, you know, and it's great. I'm glad to do it. And
yeah, I think the really cool thing about the way that Mike and Grant have done this show for years and the way they're continuing with it is they're getting other people involved and letting other people bring things to it. And that's what they've done at California. Other people have brought different things to Born Free over the years, and it's kind of becomes what it is. And here in Texas, it's like year 3, it's like becoming, you know, it's next year and next year. It's like, it's just going to keep becoming whatever it becomes. And that's
whatever,
really fucking cool.
Whatever the people want it to be.
Yeah.
That's what's good. It's they're taking, what is it? Not like criticism or feedback, but they're like taking
input.
They're taking input and like giving
this person a space to do this,
giving people a platform to do some things, you know,
and just let it grow and let cool people do cool shit.
I mean, from the get-go, everything I've ever said, or, you know, really, it started out like, oh, I got an idea. And they're like, yeah,
do it.
Great. Go for it.
Don't even tell us about it. Just
prove it. You know, like, fuck.
Oh, man.
It'd be a good idea to do whatever. And they're like, yeah, it would be. What can we do to help you do that?
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Going to be great. So you got to go to the airport, pick up some people. What's going on?
Dude, I got this couple from France flying. This Jim. His name's Jim. I met him a few years ago at an event.
Jim?
He's got like
from France?
Yeah, Jim Chopper King Jim.
He's
got a club.
Is he a French guy?
Yeah.
Is that a common name in France?
His name's Jimmy.
In France, that's a common name, Jim?
You've been there, right?
I mean,
I don't know.
I think
it's common for me. He's the only fucker I know from France, and his name's Jim, dude.
I don't know if Jim is that common of a name in France. I mean, Jim in America is like one on every block.
Yeah.
But in France, how many Jims there got to be out there?
Dude, Jim's coming here.
All right.
Dude, you're going to like Jim. Jim and Jenna. Jenna.
Wait, Jim and Jenny?
Fuck, I don't know, dude. They're going to come over. They're going to ride the Pan Am for the next week. They're doing like some loop through Nashville.
Cool.
And then meet us at Born Free.
Bingo.
Yeah. What else am I doing today? There's something else. I got to pick up the bike for them to ride.
So you're grabbing them, going to fucking back home, and they're leaving, and they're fucking just going to live the dream on American motorcycle.
I'm going to go to Rat Rodtober this weekend. Are you going to be there? Or are you going to fucking go get the
bad
venue?
News.
You got bad.
I told Jake yesterday I'm not going to make it to Rat Rodtober. He was bummed. But we have
He tell you he wasn't going to make it to Born Free?
We have a pre-scheduled tattoo event at Dallas Harley Davidson with Lance.
Oh, that's
It's on the same fucking day.
Right.
And it's one of those things, like I told you earlier, like when you put something in the book, And then you realize another thing is on the same weekend. You're like, fuck. I would love to go to Rat Rodtober, but I'm committed.
Dude, that new venue they got is fucking sweet.
Well, I won't see it.
No.
I'm committed to something else.
Well, you know, Lance has had a lot of success with you guys coming up there and doing that. So I'm glad that's working out. And since he's done that, I've seen multiple other dealerships like get in line.
We've done it at a few other dealerships. And,
well, outside of his bubble, people have started doing that, you know?
I mean, Lance is doing great.
I think at fucking Daytona, they were giving out tattoos at the motor company booth.
They were doing it at Laconia Bike Week too. A buddy of mine was tattooing a dealership up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so doing the Harley dealership thing is fucking cool.
And you got, do you do a new thing of Flash each time?
Yeah.
Sick.
So we got some cool designs, and it's a fun deal.
Yeah.
Fun deal. And, you know, you get a wide variance of people. You know, there's people that come there that follow us at Elm Street that want to come up and do it. And then there's people that don't know who we are that are just at the Harley dealership that want to get a tattoo. It's just good times.
Yeah.
But the Harley, man, that's a whole nother topic we didn't even get on.
I'm shocked, honestly.
Have you heard any? What's the latest news you heard about the fucking about Puma Man?
Oh, about Yokin?
Yeah,
dude, he's got a sick new chopper on the way.
Is he out or is he staying?
Oh, he's not going anywhere.
He needs to get out.
He is not going anywhere.
I mean, you were telling me he sucks, and what else are you saying?
Oh my!
What else are you saying?
This is about to get as bad as that podcast you do with Milburn. I was like, Milburn, you're never gonna work. Milburn, you're never gonna work again. He's like, well, I just thought the commercials were slowing down. I'm like, no, you're just not gonna work again after that one.
What else were you saying? He should go back to Puma. I mean, a lot of people are still pissed.
Really?
I mean, a lot of people are like, a lot of Harley, like I talked to Lance and a few other people at Harley dealerships around the country, and their customers are like, this is bullshit. We're blah, blah, you know, people calling like for a couple of weeks.
What is bullshit?
They were getting a lot of calls saying, hey, if this shit is true, and if this guy's really doing all this DI bullshit and this fucking blah, 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 we're not going to buy a fucking Harley from you anymore, blah, blah, blah. And all these people are throwing up fits and whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so all the dealer owners were sending letters to Harley saying, hey, this guy's got to get the fuck out or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know what's happening, but it seems to me.
He ain't going nowhere.
I mean, I've heard a lot of different conflicting stories. He's like,
dude, if it wasn't for him,
he's a heavy stock owner.
Yeah.
And then he's, you know, he's a part of the board, and that he's invested heavily in it and blah, blah, blah. But I was pretty disappointed that Harley Davidson as a company did not come back with a strong message, a strong pro-America message to the public. And I think that's what they should do.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that.
But them coming back with the pussyfoot little, we didn't really do, blah, blah, blah. No, you know, regardless of what you heard, we're here to tell you right now that we are going to fucking make American fucking motorcycles. We're going to be here for the American people. We're going to blah, 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 blah. But all this story, and then you hear the news that they're going to like start making these parts in Thailand, or they're going to start doing this, they're going to start doing that, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they need to make a stance, because the people that buy Harley Davidsons don't give a fuck about all that woke bullshit.
Correct.
And if they're going to pander to the woke bullshit, then it's fucking crazy.
I don't think they are as much as it seems at all. But I'm not going to speak on their behalf.
But then they need to come out and say that they're not.
Yeah, I think forever they don't take any stance.
Yeah,
you know. And do I think that that's the best way to go about it? Probably not.
I mean, they need to make more.
I mean, it was an opportunity. They definitely could have done something that would have sold a bunch of motorcycles.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know, not only is this not true, let's talk about the money we've given to the veterans. Or, you know, like there was a lot of things they could have brought up and been like, you know.
And we're not going to make shit over there. We're going to make shit here. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to be whatever. I don't know.
I mean, I would love to see them fucking make about a 10th, maybe even 100th as many motorcycles as they do, and bring all the work back home.
100%.
And make them, you know, $150,000 machines that not everybody can afford.
I mean, whatever.
And, you know. I mean, I really do. I would love to see that
I
where
would
it's
love it.
like, you know, that it was all American made. And it was a superior product
Yeah.
instead of pandering to like, we're going to keep it a V twin and looking like a panhead, like, no, how about you just make a badass motorcycle
Yeah.
and stand behind your product?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that they could.
Most of my disappointments with the motor company over the last, since I've even paid attention is also or mainly my disappointment with the kind of people we're putting out in this society right now.
I mean,
You
the
know,
whole
like,
world.
The whole world, especially right here, and not that we're putting out something less than what the rest of the world. I'm just saying, like, specifically what we're producing, like how all the manufacturing has left the country for the most part, when you can't get to find and being made in America doesn't even mean what it used to mean. Like there is stuff that is made in America that is a less
Quality.
that is an inferior product than what you can get from China.
Yeah. That's the big thing is that the consumer is less demanding of quality.
Absolutely.
The consumer is more concerned with the price, or regardless of the quality. And that goes anything from something that's made to food to whatever it is. Like quality is not priority one anymore. And that used to be, and now to search out something and find the one thing that is the best or is more quality or is a better product, it ends up being astronomically
and you
more
just
expensive.
might as well get it custom made for yourself because it's not, like I go through shit. I wear stuff out, and to find like gear or clothes that fit good and will last a long time. They don't make them in size 33, 30. Like you got to go get it custom made because it's like shit is. I mean, right now I'm back to wearing just $34 Wranglers, that used to be $25 because the American made stuff I was getting just fucking wore out too.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
We're screwed. As my grandfather said, every day that I remember, he said, the world's going to shit. And so here we go.
How did he know that back then?
I mean, I think about it in the 70s and what was going on in the 70s to my grandfather, it was going to shit then.
Yeah.
Compared to the 40s and 50s and 60s. Like, I mean,
absolutely.
And then the 80s. Dude, when the 80s were going down, my grandfather lost his mind. Everything was going to shit. Like when everything, like, because you got to imagine, my grandfather grew up in a place where plastic didn't exist. And then the 80s come around and every single fucking thing my grandmother brought home from the store was made out of plastic. Because you made a turn. In the 80s, everything went to plastic. They're like...
The fucking cars went to plastic.
Oh, dude. My grandfather threw a fit when there was plastic on his fucking car. Or he drink out of like I drink out of glass. So I like glass.
Yeah.
But, my grandfather would drink out of a plastic cup and he's like, what are we in a fucking... We're in a picnic? We're in a picnic? We're in the woods? What is this shit? He threw a fit.
Oh, yeah. My wife will barely even let plastic in the house. She will not. She will buy stuff based on how it's packaged, too. Like, if they use too much paper or plastic in the packaging.
She seems like a conscientious person.
Oh, she is very, very conscientious.
I will say this. I agree. I think that plastic is a horrible invention.
Absolutely.
And I feel like there's certain things that it's useless for. But there's most of the implements for plastic are detrimental. Mm-hmm. Like there is no reason to have plastic on an automobile at all, anywhere. Because they used to make cars with no plastic. And those cars, they still exist today.
Yeah, I got one.
I know. And then you buy a car, and there's no car today that's going to be around in 100 years.
No.
There's no
fucking way.
There's no motorcycle made today that you're going to be able to ride in 100 years from now, ride across the country and do a 100-year-old motorcycle ride like they do now with 100-year-old motorcycles.
Yeah.
There's no way. Can you imagine?
No.
I mean, find a 10-year-old fucking motorcycle that's worth a fuck. It's hard. You can buy a 30-year-old motorcycle that's fucking solid as a rock.
I mean, there's still some twin cams out there. That 2001.
Yeah, all the plastic is turned to dust on them.
Yeah.
The switch housing on the handlebars just crumbles.
Oh, yeah. Does it really?
I mean, if it's been sitting outside, yeah, good luck.
That's true. Yeah.
Well,
hell in a handbasket. That's the way to end this.
Yeah, I like to. We started off really good, and then we just like, wow, we're all screwed, and we're out of here. All right, thank you, Dan, so much, and we'll see you
next weekend,
and many other weekends after that.
Yes, I'm sure.
All right, gonna be a great fucking year. That's it, man. See y'all guys next time.
Peace.
Hey, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Come on, guys. Click all those links. Push all those buttons because it really helps us out and gets us out there to more and more peeps. What in the Duck podcast is produced by Audra Cabral and John.com Niederkorn. Our sound, video engineer, and editor is Courtney, Jr. Larkins. Initial audio-video setup and intro music by Blake Balake Pinchon. And a big thanks to everyone that submitted questions. Y'all keep them coming. Email me any questions you would like me to answer to whatintheduckpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on What in the Duck. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Label Solutions, www.labelsolutionsinc.com. I've been a customer of theirs for over a decade. They make the highest quality premium labels for all kinds of products. Food and beverage, personal care products, pet care products, beer and wine spirits, CBD products, automotive products, and more. They can make a label for almost anything. Multicolor, custom die cut, full wraparound labels, too many options to even tell you about. I use Label Solutions for all the stickers and labels for my stuff, like the Tiki Loco label on the coffee I'm drinking right now. They do have a minimum order of 1,000 labels, so they won't make you 20 labels for that soap you're making in your bathtub. But if you've got products to label, you need Label Solutions. Get started today at www.labelsolutionsinc.com.